Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington Commanders update. And here we are, your hosts, CWall Waller and Wole.
What's up?
A Friday night. This was supposed to
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I'm telling y'all. Y'all snowed in. Y'all ain't worried. Y'all about to be snowed in. Y'all ain't worried about
I
nothing.
don't
Don't even
take
worry
credit
about
for
it.
this idea.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? Coaching from the Couch on a Friday night with
Look.
incoming Snowmageddon. Why not?
Yeah. Y'all, most of y'all coming from the grocery store buying everything y'all don't need. Y'all could be out here. Y'all good. Y'all good.
You on here. You on here. And you're probably like, "Oh, Candi looks refreshed." I do. I don't know who before you ask, I don't know who the defensive coordinator is.
It's a Friday. That's why. It's a Friday. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's why.
I don't
Everybody,
know.
it's a Friday. You know what I mean? Let's keep it a bean. It's a Friday. That's why.
I've been right, and I've been out. That's why I made up. Look like
There you
game
go.
day. I'm in
Yeah.
game day attire because I had to be outside.
Look,
Uh,
man.
and do a
And
lot of
it's the
things.
season for all sorrows and everything. I know it's this is like it. It's everything today.
A
Like
woman of
this.
Delta Sigma Theta Sorority
Yeah,
Incorporated, which
yeah.
I am,
Uh-huh.
has definitely been outside. So
Everybody,
I guess
yeah,
after the first week, and we're gonna get into some housekeeping items. I think I saw a comment that was like, "Candi don't have no life." I'm like, wait a minute now, wait a second. I'm getting my life back. That's what
yeah.
I'm gonna get it back since the Commanders are at home. But anyway,
Yeah. Hey, we
that
all
first week was a doozy though. I was
yeah.
like, okay, this is
It's
out, it's wearing out its welcome. But since things have gotten a little quiet, Commanders fans, hop on in. Go ahead and share this show with
Mhm.
your Washington Commanders loving family and friends. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up. As Ole always says, hit like, all of that. Subscribe to the
Yeah,
channels, Bowie
all that.
TV, Urban Sports Scene. This is a collab
Yeah.
between two amazing businesses covering the Washington Commanders. If you have not cut your cable, you can find Bowie TV on Comcast channels 190 and 1097 in Prince George's County, Maryland. And what else? What are we forgetting, Wole? Super chats, super
All that good
thanks,
stuff.
all
Super
that good
chats,
stuff.
all that good stuff.
You can drop your questions in the chat and your commentary in the chat. We'll try to get to as many questions as always as possible and thoughts.
Mhm.
This show is going to be really just a dialogue.
Mhm.
No clips, no anything. We have a set of a few questions. And so, based on these three questions we have, there might be some spin-offs of
Mhm.
these questions, but we figured it was probably be good to pop in and have a conversation. Of course, we all know that the Commanders in search of a defensive coordinator is certainly a hot topic. So we're going to dive into that first, and then we have a spinoff of that. And then we're going to talk about one of the position groups that we've mentioned, but one specific part about that group that we
Mhm.
haven't really dived into much, if at all.
Mhm.
Wole and I were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Wanted to get you all's thoughts on, and we'll just dialogue as well. So if you are tapped in from X, YouTube, Facebook, IG, make sure you just tap in. Let us know you're here. Drop a comment, all that good stuff. And again, if you have any questions, just let us know. Wole, did you have anything before we get started?
No, ask. You said you see the comments in the chat because I don't see anything. I'm making sure that has
I
anything
don't
happened
see
yet.
anything.
All
I
right,
don't
I'm making sure. Okay, that's why I'm like I ain't tripping. Okay, all right. So my
unless somebody want to put something in the chat so we know it's
yeah,
not broken.
yeah,
But I don't see
yeah,
it. I
yeah.
haven't.
Okay, I will make sure because sometimes StreamYard be acting up. So
I mean, it could. I don't
they
know.
be acting up. And just the only thing I add, like, yeah, we do just like she's talking about super chats, folks. If you want your there you go, pause. Okay, now I know it's real.
Okay now because I
All
was
right,
just
I know it's real. I just need to know it's
way.
real. All right, but super chats. If
Hey,
you all want your comments prioritized over everything, we accept super chat. Super chats help us support the shows. Also, like she mentioned, likes and subscribing is free. So if you feel like giving up a like to the video, it's free, it's cool, it's chill. Hit that like button, hit that red subscribe button. You know, it does great when videos like this on either platform, Urban Sports Scene, Bowie TV, when you like and subscribe to it, it does well for the algorithm for this video. So all Commander stuff gets that thumbs up, gets everybody on board and say, you know what? Oh, that's the dopest Commander show on board. So make sure you do all that.
Yep, and we always got to remind you this is a live Bowie television recording.
Facts.
Everything we say and do here does somehow end up on TV for the most part.
Yeah,
we might edit some things out if it gets a little too crazy. But hey, who doesn't like reality TV every once in a while? So sometimes that's what we do here. But I always will drop that reminder as well so that you guys know that this is a live Bowie television recording. Yeah, so let's get into our first question. Listen, we know that the defensive coordinator role for the Washington Commanders is a big deal. It's still not filled. We don't know who it is. Nobody knows who it is yet. It's a lot of conversation around this topic, right? They went ahead and settled out the offensive coordinator role within that week. That first week of the offseason, this one is lingering on a bit. But guess what? Due to the head coach carousel and all the things, it has also created a defensive coordinator carousel as well for some places. Some of these DCs have just lost their jobs, like what happened here in Washington Commanders land. Others have gone on to new things, like Jesse Minter, who was the defensive coordinator for the LA Chargers, is now the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. And we're just seeing a lot of movement on this topic. So if you wanted to be NFL defensive coordinator, which job are you choosing? Like, which job are you?
Am I choosing?
I would choose. I see folks saying, it would have been nice to get Brian Flores, but and hey, listen, he was locked in.
He was locked in.
He was locked in, and that was he was locked in. And now it might have to be one of these use your clues moments, because Kevin O'Connell was very confident that Brian Flores is going to come back. I think we talked about that.
I never had him.
I mean, and I had him on a dream list. I had Mike McDaniel and I had Brian Flores. I said it's a dream, and I said I want to temper expectations on this. When I say dream, I mean in terms of I would like to win $4 million or $5 million, but I'm saying the next 5 minutes. That means it's not going to happen. So but it was nice. It was a nice thought, and it wasn't. And they did interview him, so we can't act like they weren't doing their due diligence. But Kevin O'Connell was very confident, and it's still not to say that Brian Flores won't get a head coaching job. But if he does not, he is locked in with the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm seeing some comments coming through. Okay, I mean, and we've talked about Al Harris. I see the comment about Carl Scott. Well, what are you thinking? And which job are you taking?
If I'm a defensive coordinator, the job I would take is
you want that promotion. You like
if I'm going to go to a job, like, in terms, you're talking about all NFL teams, right? Which
all NFL, right? If you let me post
the job I want, I would want. If I was DC,
everybody know, because I don't want out of everything, like, because we getting into the available defensive coordinator jobs, because there's some good ones available now.
Yeah, if I non-Commanders, I would take, and I'm saying this because I do, like, in terms of the talent, who's looking.
Yep.
I would who's fired their defensive coordinator, not because who are really replacing their defensive coordinator.
Who has a defensive coordinator?
I would go. I think the Ravens got a lot to offer. I would go to Baltimore. I think they have a lot to offer, because you were talking about people who let their defensive coordinators go who have talent. I would go with the Ravens. Like the Steelers, I know Paul got the Steelers, but they haven't fired their coordinator. He's looking for a job. He hasn't been fired. You're talking about a guy who it's actually a vacant position.
There's a vacant.
Then it would be, if it's vacant,
coordinator job.
I would take Baltimore, because Orr has been fired basically. So I would go with Baltimore.
The Ravens.
The Chargers are a good one too. The Chargers are a good one too. The Chargers are a good one too. Actually, I would go with the Chargers. They had the better. Yeah, I would go with the Chargers. Then probably the Ravens. The Chargers and the Ravens. I would go with the Chargers. Thanks, Paul. I like that one. The Chargers. I would definitely go with
the Chargers and the Ravens got They have um that's a good job.
Yeah. And to like to the point to like to like because this exercise is like, just to the point of like there are definitely other
There's other
positions
jobs available.
of other jobs available. And to me, rosters, if you're a defensive coordinator, a young guy, a guy that you're trying to like formulate a good resume with, you want it with talent. You want it with guys who kind of
Mhm,
played it at a high level. And the Chargers, if I was going to tap into I'm not going to a situation that can make me look bad. I'm gonna
mhm,
go into a situation that's gonna get me the best out of it. And also, like, I'm gonna go to a situation where I know I'm gonna have full autonomy of that defense. Because at the end of the day, like, regardless of anything, your head coach for like, because I'm gonna go with, I ideally would go with a defensive coordinator, a defense. I would go to a team where the head coach is an offensive minded dude. That's why I would tend to go to that situation because if it's a defensive minded head coach, you could butt heads. It's possible, like because that head coach is a defensive minded coach. So he may not agree with some of like your principles or whatnot. That
mhm.
is a thing that can happen. So if you're looking at this situation here in the area, like here for the Commanders, like that would be a thing that could scare a defensive coordinator off, knowing that okay, my head coach is based unless I'm running the same system. Oh, I gotta stop. Sorry. All right, I stopped my statement.
Oh,
Hey, Mama Waller. I had to stop because
oh,
I saw
my
your
mom. Oh, hey,
mom.
mom. Hey,
Hey,
mom.
Mama Waller. How
Hey,
you doing?
mom. That's why I
Yeah,
said,
I'll,
oh,
I'll
wait.
stop.
This is this
I'll
time.
stop mid sentence. I'll definitely stop mid sentence. But yeah.
Ah,
So yeah, I think that if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm looking at a situation too where, in general, where I'm probably looking at a coordinator where I'm looking at a situation where the offensive I'm looking at a situation where the head coach is an offensive minded dude. I want full control. Like I don't want anybody who could look at my system and say, "Oh, maybe you could do it this way." Nah, usually an offensive minded coach doesn't can't be, won't even pick his head in your room because he's worried about the offense, especially a guy who's pretty much fresh in being a head coach. Like, I mean, if you look at Kevin O'Connell, we use him as an
mhm.
example. He's not peaking in Brian Flores. Brian Flores is pretty much doing whatever he wants with that defense. So,
Absolutely.
like, you want a coordinator, if I'm a coordinator, I want a situation where I'm not worried about my head coach thinking that maybe this ain't the right thing or not. And I'm not saying that any of those dudes, any a defensive coordinator would. I just know it'd be a defensive minded head coach would. But I just know it's easier because if I know something, if I'm an expert in one field and I'm like I am the overseer of everything, but I do have
Mhm,
this expertise on this particular side. It's easy for me to
mhm,
walk down and say, "Hey, maybe we should do this." And if I had success in my
mhm,
past, it's easy for that. So if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm like,
mhm.
shoot, I want my own thing. Like I don't want you messing with. I want nobody messing with anything.
So some of the other um jobs that are available,
Mm-hmm.
right? We know that the 49ers are available
Yes, that's a good
now.
point. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah,
49ers are available now. The
that's a good one.
Giants, Coach Harbaugh hasn't made a decision just yet
Yes, that's a good one
on
too.
his
With talent.
defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The 49ers are available. The Giants are available. We just talked about the Chargers.
Yep.
Great point about the Chargers and the Ravens.
Yeah,
And
I
the
like the Giants
Green
job
Bay
too.
Packers.
Oh yeah, they think they hired what's that? That's a
Because
good one too.
the Dolphins hired their defensive
Yeah,
coordinator as their
that's
head
a good one
coach.
too. The Packers are a good one too. That's a real good one actually.
All right.
That's a very good one because you got Micah. You'll have Mike. Well, hopefully you'll have a healthy Micah Parsons. There's still good defense without Micah Parsons.
They are.
Um, that's a good one. That's actually a good one. I mean, low key. I mean, honestly, if you're a good defensive coordinator, I will say this because I mean, I'm not saying it because I mean I am saying I know it hurts to say this. There's some teams in the NFC um East, even the Cowboys that have talent
Oh yeah, the
that
Cowboys need one, don't they? They didn't hire anyone.
no, they haven't. But there is talent there
Yeah,
where
Cowboys is another team that is
you
looking for a coordinator.
could like like if you believe in your body of work and what you can do, um yeah, you could definitely. I believe that you feel like you can make that unit better. But again, also,
Mhm.
I don't know how enticing that is because you have Jerry Jones as your owner. And I don't know how enticing
Right.
that is for a lot of people. But in
Right.
terms of like coaching talent, like I think that is a desirable place for a coordinator. I could see that being a
Yeah.
desirable place. And the Giants, I do like the
The
Giants.
Giants,
I like the Giants a lot.
this is kind of a spin-off topic, and then we're gonna get back into defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I've posted like I feel like, because I'm a person who advocates for, yes, know the team that you watch, right? But you need to know what's going on in the division. Like you really do. I'm glad you brought up the Cowboys because they're looking for a defensive coordinator as well. So like, you got to pay attention to what's going on. So just from a division, and of course, whoever is on the schedule for that season. But from a division perspective, John Harbaugh being in this division changes a lot.
Yeah.
And this is not going to be the same old Giants. It's just not. And so it will be interesting to see who he brings in as his defensive coordinator. It will be very interesting to see because I think there's been some conversation around, him bringing Zach Orr with him, but I know Zach Orr, I think he interviewed for the Chargers, DC.
Yeah, he did. But I mean, I don't know how serious.
I know there was conversation around Anthony Weaver. There was conversation around Denard Wilson.
Yeah.
And now what we're starting to see and hear is that a lot of these defensive coordinators are all Al Harris is doing multiple interviews.
Yeah, of course.
They're all interviewing. Yeah. Everybody's interviewing. And so this is one of those seasons where they get to choose. These guys kind of get to choose. And so it will be interesting to see where folks land, to see where folks choose. I think that I just wanted like you said, well, like the point of this conversation was to talk through all of the available defensive coordinator positions that are open right now. And if you were the coordinator, which one would you choose based on where things are currently?
Yeah.
Whomever comes into this role has a hard job.
Yeah. And you got to win it.
Which could kind of lead to the next question. And we're going to keep talking about defensive coordinators because there is something to be discussed in terms of, some of the more popular names. If there is a desire to have someone who has experience with play calling on defense, right? Well, some of the more popular names don't have that. And we could use our clues, right? We could kind of use our clues and say, well, if David Blau doesn't have experience, with play calling, maybe it's okay for the defensive coordinator also not to have that experience. But taking that into consideration, if that is a real thing on the defensive side of the ball and needing experience, that changes some of the who you might want. And so it's a lot to think about, especially now really knowing and diving into have the Jets determine their defensive coordinator?
Nah, because nobody's accepted. Like they've gotten their interviews declined.
Yeah, yes. So this is it's
by teams. I'm talking about by teams.
And I mean, for what it's worth, I'm just throwing it out there. If the Browns were to promote Jim Schwartz, then the defensive coordinator role with the Browns is also available. And as much as people like to poo-poo Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett plays for them.
Yeah, I just think that like the Browns situation, because Schwartz will be, they'll have an opening in that. Yeah, but he'll be the defensive coordinator.
Well, he'll probably still be that person.
He'll be calling defensive plays. He'll have a guy under him. Like whoever was under him will be moved up as his DC. Like like what Dan Quinn has done with all the other
Titans still available.
The coordinator, who's the head coach? The head coach is
well, they just got Saleh. So I mean, maybe he'll call
Saleh. He'll play. He'll probably bring somebody from the Niners. Somebody from the Niners, yeah.
And so I'm just like,
yeah,
it's some good jobs available.
Yeah,
very good ones. I mean, where there are pieces already in place. There are pieces already in place.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I'm with you. I think. Yeah, go ahead, Candi.
No, I'm just saying there's many places. I just like really thinking about it. And that's the conversation that Wole and I started to have. Like, listen, and I was sharing with him. I'm like, here's the challenge with this. There's options.
Oh, there's a lot of options.
A lot of options, everybody.
Yeah, that's where I'm like in my belief system, because I just feel like, you're not gonna get everybody wants some of these sexy names. I think you can get, like, for instance, I do think if he wanted, like, I think it's possible if they wanted to, they could definitely bring in Raheem Morris, who called defense. They could do that. Like, I feel like if they want Raheem Morris, if Raheem Morris wants to come here, that is a easy. If you're looking for experience and a guy who has a rapport with Dan Quinn, that's one I think that's easily on the table. Now, do they want that individual? That's a whole different conversation.
If he wants a head coaching job,
right? Yeah, but I don't think he'll get a head coach. Well, I'm gonna be real with you, and I like Raheem Morris. I just know how the game works. That's two head coaching jobs he's had for African American. He's been fired twice. He ain't getting a head coaching job anytime soon. That's what it is. That's just what it is. And he hasn't won enough in this league in terms of consistently. I don't think he's done a horrible job. But also, in the same time, you lost your job twice already. You're not going to be a head coach anytime soon. So he, to me, because of how the game is the game. He's going to be in that defensive coordinator mode. That's where he's at. That's where he's going to be labeled right now. So that if they want him, that is a player. That is a person that I feel like if you're looking at a person who's called plays, who's really going to be available, who's really quality, who's really a good one. I mean, who's better than some of the, or more experienced than some of the guys that are out there. He's the one that makes sense. You're not going to get like you mentioned the names. We're not getting the Brian Flores, Jim Schwartz. We're not getting those dudes, because to me, Jim Schwartz is either a head coach or he's going to be a DC over there. That's my opinion. And I do think that, like, to your point too, Candi, he's not going to take, even if, like, say he gets, because I feel like for Cleveland, it's a little dicier now because they've kind of put him in a situation where I think he wants to be the head coach. And if he doesn't get the head coach, he may go elsewhere.
Exactly.
And I do think if that's the case, then you can see him following, going to, say, Atlanta. Well, Atlanta keeping the same guy. So no, not Atlanta. But, like, you can see him going elsewhere. But he'll probably choose a situation where it's more defensive talent, to your point. Unless, Washington wants to break the bank and get him. I think if you're going to watch a situation in Cleveland with Jim Schwartz, it's more of if they don't make him the head coach. I think since it got to that level now, if they don't make him the head coach, then I can see him going elsewhere. And then now Washington has to be the highest bidder. But that's the only ideal situation I feel like Washington has in terms of some of these well-respected coordinators who are out there. I know Santiago mentioned Greg Williams. I would love Greg Williams, but I think that's not going to happen. That would definitely not happen. That's not a thing that would happen. But, everyone knows my infatuation with Greg. I love Greg Williams. But yeah, I think there's going to be a younger guy. I think it'll be a guy. I mean, honestly, if we a guy who I think is going to be, I think it's going to be Al Harris. That's just because that was the word. And we're looking at, you talk about use your clues in this situation. It was a guy that was supposed to be the defensive coordinator here. Well, was supposed to be on the staff.
Unless he goes back to Dallas. I mean,
Dallas, like,
that's
But I don't think Dallas.
But he also has his choosing as well.
Yeah,
he's going on multiple interviews as well.
Yeah, I don't even think Dallas. I don't think Dallas wants a particular home run hit. I just feel like here for Washington, I just think that it makes too much sense. I think Al Harris just makes too much sense.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that some of the things that we would probably have to consider is do they really want somebody with play calling experience or not?
Yeah,
would you be settling for somebody?
Yeah,
with no play calling experience, because that was at one point in time a prerequisite, play calling experience. Now, again, we could all challenge that theory because Wow doesn't. So we can challenge that theory, but I think that's how you all go through the exercise. If you go through the exercise of using your clues, you can put together a list. You can put together a list based on who has experience calling plays, based on who does not have experience calling plays. You can also take a look at, who's still playing this weekend that they might be waiting to interview. Who also potentially, I'm coming up with a list of questions just so y'all know, who also could they be waiting on to make a decision? We're gonna keep interviewing everybody, but hey, maybe you got us in a holding pattern where we can't hold in case you pick a head coaching job.
Yeah. You can't
right?
hope for so long though. That's
And
the
you can't,
thing.
oh no, because they're still
Yeah, so
interviewing
long.
people. Let me be clear, but it's because they definitely got to do their due diligence on this one. And it's also the knowledge of compared Washington Commanders defense compared to other
Other
teams'
teams. Yeah.
defenses. What type of work do you have to do?
It depends how good you are, and also
You know what
money
I
talk.
mean?
Yeah, money
I mean,
talks
yeah, I
too.
mean, if money talks, then absolutely. You know what I'm
Money
saying?
talk. It depends what.
Um,
So this is what I would say though to that. To that. You're right though. Everything's right. But the
yeah.
organizations run differently. So I will say this though. Like if it was run like like some of these coordinators that kind of have left who haven't been here. If it was run like this is what I don't think I would give like that regime credit. Like if you wanted the home run higher in terms of coaching, like the coordinator, not even saying, but that also creates a weird dynamic. You know what I mean too. But like if said owner wanted like say like Brian Flores, use him as an example, he would make it quite hard for Brian Flores to leave Commanders Park. Let me call it Commanders Park. It was called something else back in the day. We'll call it Commanders Park because he would throw so much money to the point where it would make it uneasy for like the head coach. You know what I mean? Because that dynamic, right? Now you're looking at this coordinator in a certain way. But I'm just saying, like, so like the coordinators that we all talk about, right? As fans, this regime is different, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's not a bad thing. It's different because they're gonna do their due diligence, but they're willing. They're not going to overpay for a coordinator that we all may think that's awesome. That's what I'm saying. Like, for instance, like because if like I won't even lie to you, my gut belief is if Brian Flores was in this building and he was in this building, like the former owner would have like damn near paid almost anything to keep him here. That's just my opinion. I felt like watching this team in the past, knowing that's what it is. But this owner is willing, like, and which is a good thing, right? To kind of dissect and maybe find some of the younger dudes. Like even like to me, Mike McDaniels would get an opportunity. Like he would have like said, let's bring Mike McDonald here and see if he's Mike McDaniel. He called McDonald. Mike McDaniel here, and let's see if we can get him to be an OC here. You know
but
what I
let's
mean?
even use like going back to Mike McDaniel. Let's use him as an example of someone who, yes, okay, the Chargers want him at OC, but he has not officially finalized that because he's still looking at head coach.
Didn't he already sign? Didn't he already sign there? I thought it was yesterday. I thought he signed with Jim Harbaugh.
I mean,
I thought he was.
I know they might have mentioned it, but I think he was still doing the Bills interview.
Oh, was he? Oh, maybe he was. Oh, he probably are right. He was still doing interviews. You're right.
He was still doing. I mean, that's where he's going. You know what I mean? Let's be clear. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's kind of like Brian Flores, though, right? Like Brian Flores signed an extension with the Vikings. In the event he does not get a head coaching position, he's going to be the Vikings. You know.
Oh yeah. The Bills interview. I mean, if he's gonna legitimately get that
is another one that's pretty attractive, but you know, hey.
If he's gonna legitimately get that, like that's a good one. That's a very good job.
Great one.
He should take that job if he wanted to. Yeah, we interviewed Al Harris already.
So it's just kind of like, all right, you know, it's that, and it's not to be like, woe is me, everybody. It's just being real. It's just being real and being honest and objective and looking at all the possibilities, because San Francisco, Green Bay, the Chargers, the Giants, everything that we're saying, these are all options with pieces, and then it becomes how much do you have to overhaul?
I just want to say, Aubrey, I agree with you. That's like my point. Like it not being right or wrong or indifferent or how you feel about whatever, but that's just how that dude thought. That dude thought like shiny toy. I'm getting a shiny toy. That's just how he thought. Like, so I definitely think if Mike McDaniel or Flores was out there, it's for him a shiny toy. We're getting him regardless of that's just how he thinks. And I'm gonna throw in all the money in the world. But again, that plays in terms of your coaching staff as a whole. That can also be that can mess with chemistry, because now you're looking over your shoulder and saying like, oh, dang, you paid this dude this amount of money. Damn, he's darn near making my money, and he's an assistant. I mean, he's a coordinator. These are coordinators. So I get it. Like you don't want to rock the boat. But yeah, I feel like that dude had no tact. He would have definitely went after those individuals.
Which then led to a question that we started talking about, we meaning Wole and I, when we were planning for the show. And I said, well, I mean, was the Joe Whitt Jr. hired? Was it that bad? Was it that bad? Because I mean, that is definitely a name we've not heard in terms of interviewing anywhere. And it's kind of like, whoa, was it that bad? Like, was it just that bad? Right. So then and the reason why we were talking about that is because of the overhaul that needs to be done here. Right. And even if there's pieces, which they're yes, of course they're pieces.
Let me answer this question real quick. Let me answer this question real quick. No, he ain't signed yet. Like, to Candi's right, he's interviewed with the Bills. He's interviewing with the Bills.
Right.
He's basically signed by the charge, but the Bills have interviewed him. Like, so they're interviewed. He's been interviewed. So it's not like a done. It's like the Flores deal, kind of like you can tell. It's like the Flores deal. It's like the Flores. So I'm letting y'all know he's interviewed with the Bills. Like, after the report, with the report that everybody heard, he's interviewed with the Bills.
Yeah, and it was like they were finalizing a deal to give to him, the Chargers, but he was interviewing for the Bills head coaching job.
Yeah, so just letting folks know that. Go ahead, continue. I just want to make sure that
I mean, that's the backup. You still trying to see if there's. I mean, Sean McDermott just got fired this week. So you know what I mean. Things change. That's why I'm saying this is a clear example of how fluid everything is. Like, until you sign that paper, I ain't signed it. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna come over here if this doesn't work out. So I think that I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Mike McDaniel over who gets the Bills head coaching job. Like, all of this is very super interesting. And I'm like, everybody just keeps forgetting that the Raiders and the Cardinals and still got jobs available.
Nobody want to coach. Nobody coach over there.
But to that point, right? It makes me wonder then. If that's the case, like what you're saying, you gonna have to pick somebody. And
I mean, they don't get a coach, but I ain't saying everybody want to be there. They gotta get a coach, right?
And so yes, that's the whole thing around Mike McDaniel. Once that job became available, yes, he might, the OC role for the Chargers might be available too. So,
go ahead, go back to like the Joe Whitt question.
So the whole question around, was it that bad? The whole hire, was it that bad? And what does that mean for anybody that could be coming from that staff to be the defensive coordinator? Like, so then Al Harris, I don't think there has any correlation to it, me personally. But
Al Harris and Joe Whitt,
I don't know. At the same token, I don't know. I don't know. But I had to really say objectively, how bad was that hire coming out the gate? Like, yes, both Cliff and Joe Whitt are gone. But for this to be such a task for DC, you had somebody you could promote. But this is definitely harder, especially based on all the rest of what's available. And the job that needs to be done, just in terms of roster creation on that side of the football.
I mean, bad.
It's really that bad. I mean, I have an opinion. Well, obviously, I guess that.
I thought it was always bad.
Be like, you know what I mean? For like, it probably wasn't a good decision, and I understand it in good faith, and nobody knew it was gonna go that bad. You know what I mean? Nobody knew that. But I think it was for sure one of those things that you got to learn some lessons from. So then going back to then how swayed are you based on relationships?
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, I need the best person for the job. I need the best person for the job. What does that mean? I don't know, but I don't know. I think Al Harris is dope. Let me be clear. Let me be clear about something. I absolutely think Al Harris is dope. As are many of the candidates. But because of the overhaul that needs to be done, even from evaluation, roster, game planning perspective, and the the immediate return that needs to be seen.
That's a good point too.
In
That's
this
good.
season, I don't know. I mean, they're taking their time, which I can appreciate, because that one right there, that's going to be hard. That's hard.
Yeah, I'll say this. Like, I'll say this much, man. Like I thought it was a bad idea off the rip. With Joe Whitt Jr. I had questions. Let me say a bad idea. I had questions about Joe Whitt off the rip because he wasn't the main. Because anytime you're not the main person they want, it could be a problem. Like Al Harris is always like the main person they wanted to come to follow Dan Quinn. Like we heard that in Dallas, like how Al Harris was his man. Like we heard that in Dallas, and when Dallas blocked it, then we had to counter and we had to promote Joe Whitt Jr. the defensive coordinator. Like the talk was like we were getting both of those individuals. We were getting Dan Quinn and Al Harris. Everybody was hyped for it, you know. And so I'm always on the line of Al Harris. And I've said this too, like I personally, and you know, whatever, like personally, I would take Al Harris. I like Al Harris, but I would also say, oh, appreciate the super chat, Santiago. Appreciate the super chat.
Thank you, Santiago.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to your question, Santiago, after I finish this statement. But I also understand like Al Harris can go left. Like I understand that it can go left getting Al Harris, but I do believe in Al Harris. I have a lot of belief because his body of work and something that Dan Quinn has always talked about. And it's like, and you've heard it, Candy, you've been there, like you've seen it, is creating turnovers. Yeah. Al Harris, everywhere he's been, like the Chicago Bears, a bunch of turnovers. Dallas Cowboys, a bunch of turnovers. That's Al Harris is the common denominator on both of those teams. Like his DBs know how to get the ball. Like he knows how to get the ball. Like that's the thing. And that's and if you want to even go even further into that, as a football player, he was the same way. So everything about him in terms of getting turnovers, it is something that he's had as a player, and it's something that he has as a coach. That is it. Like he has been that person. You know what I mean? We got the Payless version of what Al Harris was, and no disrespect, and Joe Whitt, that's just what it is. He wasn't Al Harris. He was a guy who was under him, but he wasn't Al Harris. I want to read Santiago. I'm gonna read your let me read your super chat and appreciate you, Santiago, as always. Would you hire a coordinator who hasn't called plays? I just mentioned like I would hire Al Harris. So yeah, depending on I would.
That's exactly what we were saying at the beginning. At one point in time, it was said that they wanted somebody with experience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
all them dudes starting to leave though. All them dudes are starting to be off. Yeah, to your point.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's okay, and we got it. But that's why I say, okay, use your clues, everybody. Create two lists. Who is available, who has experience, who is available, who does not have experience, and who are these individuals interviewing with? And compare the defenses of the teams that they're interviewing with. Take away the relationship. Now, because if you got to lean on the relationship, you better lean on it now. Because there are some very, very good options available, and they are paying very well. So, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody got a problem with DQ or whatever until you need him, until you need his relationship to pull somebody that's really good in. Because if you're going just straight off team, well, that's not comparatively speaking, is what I'm saying, right? That's a hard sell without the relationship. That's a hard sell without the relationship, okay? If compared to the other teams we just mentioned. So, what I wanted to know, what I've been trying to figure out, I'm like, so nobody from the Texans staff is on any of these lists? Or did they shut everybody? Did they block everybody?
No, they on the list. They on the list.
Right. Texas people got to be on the list.
Oh, they on the list.
I said the Texans, and publicly, and let me be clear on that, publicly, because listen, turnover, if it's one team that can get turnovers and tackles, it's the Houston Texans.
No, they got they got a few people on the list. I posted the list. Yeah, they got
That's why I was
well,
like, I don't understand. Why isn't there more people from the Houston, Texas? Definitely a former Titans, right? That's Denard.
yeah,
But I was like, are the Texans blocking
yeah.
people now? I'm telling you, I posted the list, so I'm like, this is
Matt
interesting,
Burt is the defensive coordinator. He ain't going nowhere.
right?
Yeah, but yeah, Paul wants somebody from the staff. He's with you. He wants somebody from that staff.
Or is he saying Texas staff want to be head coaches? I mean, but I'm talking about, and let me be clear on this. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the Texan staff from a perspective of overall. It's just
Yeah,
very
somebody like you
light.
talk about position. You talk about a position coach. Like a position coach won't be a head coach. A position coach will
Yeah.
probably be in the defensive coordinator. So, for instance, if you want to like even keep it a being like for instance, you're talking about like say the linebackers coach, which is a good one.
Well, that's
too.
what that's my point. Either they've blocked people or they don't want to
Like
go.
Bill Davis, but a lot. All right, so to be honest with you, so these guys, hey, they're like a little up in age though. Assistant linebackers coach Ben Poland, they're a lot of them up in their age. They're not younger individuals, or some of them are not younger individuals.
But let me tell you something though. Let's be clear with that. Exactly, Wole. You hitting on something, and I'm about to tell y'all. This is what I'm saying. This is what I've been saying. It has to be. You gotta find both. Use your clues. What you just said about the Texans. Okay, they got a mix in age. Okay, because guess what they're doing? They're doing old school, like they call it smash mouth football.
Oh yeah,
old
Vasco
school.
is young. He's
and
young.
These dudes can tackle their behinds off. They can tackle. They can tackle. They can tackle. And from a kind of newer school perspective, they can get they can get takeaways.
Yeah. Oh man, they're just awesome.
And the football is so clean.
Yeah.
It's so clean.
They're well coached. I'm not gonna hold you. They're well coached.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And they know how to draft. They know how to draft their players.
Well,
they got some guys.
Well, they are drafting according to what their identity is. If you want somebody that can tackle, you get somebody that can tackle. Now, I've been saying this the whole time.
But they don't play with studs though. They don't play with studs either. They don't play with studs.
That's the whole thing.
They don't play with studs.
People weren't even paying attention to him. I mean, you might know Will Anderson name, right? And people might get all of this, but that's like it. But they're all, every single last one of them, and it's clean. You don't see a lot of PIs. You don't see a whole lot of, you know what I mean? It's clean. And I'm like, this is incredible what they're doing on that Texan staff. To your point, they're well coached.
They are.
I think that they are well coached. That's coaching right there. And I watched them. I remember when they beat the Bills. My dad said, you need to go back and watch that game. You need to go back and watch that game. And I said, let me go back. Let me watch it. And like you said, we're not talking about a whole bunch of big names. They're just doing the things right.
Yeah, they got, and I will say this, they know. I'm gonna give their GM credit too, because how they draft, it's been like a process. Like Stingley was getting like negative flack from LSU, but he was always a highly touted corner. But some people gave him like red flags. They just know it's both. Like it is. It's like how their organization is run. They're run well. The synergy is great. Like I'm putting the synergy is great.
Now, I mean, I'm talking about on defense though, because on the other side, there's other conversations.
Well, that's not their quarterback, a whole different situation.
But just the defense part of
their defense part, right? They got it on lock.
Defense part of it, they have figured out what it is they want, what they want that identity to be. And yes, absolutely, you got to get more turnovers, but we cannot continue to miss the very important point of how detrimental some of those missed tackles were.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you watch a team like the Texans, and I was talking about Seattle. Remember before the team played Seattle, I said, oh my God, this is not going to be good, everybody. But hey, it's one of those teams where it's like Seattle Seahawks. But hey, remember we're familiar with Mike McDonald because he was in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
So I already knew what type of time he was on when he got that head coaching job. And so you have to, if you're going to model anybody, you got to model it after those two teams.
Agreed.
What I think is so important is you're not hearing. So I'm like, either they stand in Houston, a lot of these Texans defensive staff, or they've blocked them. Something has happened.
Oh, they probably got blocked.
They got to be all over the place. They should be getting hot all over the place because they're just that good.
And also the problem is too with their situation is that like one, when you get the deeper you go into the playoffs, jobs get taken that you
That's
probably
right.
want. And
Right.
like I don't think they were interviewing. Just like some like certain coordinators weren't interviewing on other teams when they were in the mix of this playoff run because
Mhm.
they respected with the mission. They respected the
Exactly.
mission. So
Yep.
I think some of these position coaches, coordinators,
They just
kind of
wait
like
on,
waited,
on
and it
hold.
was like the
Like
jobs and those jobs they probably wanted aren't really available. You know what I mean? Like that they really want.
mhm.
Cause that's the
But
thing too. Like
you know somebody like let's use Kyle Shanahan.
yeah,
You know, I mean, D'Amico don't want to lose none of his people to anybody.
yeah.
But you know, Kyle we'll dig over there in your rocks in your staff now. Like,
Your
hold on, let
offense
me
on
go dig down
offense, yeah,
there and just, and let's see. But in terms of because he needs a coordinator, he needs a defensive
yeah,
coordinator. So you're not even really hearing a lot of that chatter. And so
yeah,
I'm like, either they're taking the week off or they like, let me think about it, or I want to stay in
yeah.
Houston because what they have is special. You have seen like
They'll get
with
tapped in. They'll get tapped in. They'll
oh
get
yeah,
tapped in now. They'll get tapped in.
I'm sure it's not something that's public knowledge. That's why
Yeah,
I'm like, use your clues on this with
yeah,
everybody because you can pick anybody. And I
yeah,
literally was looking at every level. I'm talking about every level from the line to the linebackers to the safeties, the corners. I'm like, these dudes been balling consistently like this
uh-huh.
all season long. And I lost count. I lost count of how many times they got they got their offense the football back. I lost count. I said I can't even keep up at this point. You know,
They're
but that's
elite.
always the team to watch. I think they are definitely, you can see like the Texans as a standard, you can see
Oh
from
yeah,
tackling and turnovers, the
the standard.
Texans and the
Yeah,
Seahawks from an
yeah.
AFC and an NFC perspective, those two teams
But
really demonstrate how can you use traditional defense and what just needs to be done to defend the football and to get to your opponent, and
yeah.
also the kind of snazzy ways to get turnovers. I still think the Texans kind of out edge the Seahawks in that,
Oh
like you
no,
said,
no, 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 they're better.
just
See,
like
the
just like
Texas defense is better than me.
just,
They're
but
better
just
than me.
like how they do it,
Yeah, it's different.
oh,
It's
it's
different.
a clinic. It's a
Yeah.
clinic. I'm like, we watching class right now. This is amazing.
No,
And
it's, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. And
No,
so
it's
shout
better.
out to them. I enjoy watching them play
No,
football.
no, I'm with you. They better. I don't even think Stingley yet. We don't have a. Yeah, so that's the
You
thing.
don't have
So this is.
all the players that they have. You don't have most of any of it.
Well, I'm saying Amos can be that. Like, so this is the thing. This is the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's a process. That's what I'm talking about. It's a process. I'm using that term because it wasn't built overnight. Like even before D'Amico got there, like they acquired a lot of young talent. When you're bad, you're gonna accrue talent. So you accrue a lot of, then you got the right guy to kind of help guide everything the right way. And then once they got Will Anderson, everything went, so it went the way it needed to go. Like it went,
Mm-hmm.
you already knew where it was going to go with the Texans. Um
Mm-hmm.
Seattle did it the same way. Like they had a
They did.
couple good drafts. Like the corner for Illinois went to Seattle. I keep forgetting his name. The one that he played with Quan
Mm-hmm.
in college. Like he's
Yeah.
one of the better corners like in his draft class. So they've got it. They got good
Mm-hmm.
sex. They drafted well in the secondary. Then they brought in guys that can help. Some older guys like the dude from the Cowboys. I keep forgetting his name. Played.
Oh, Dexter
He played.
Lawrence. And then,
Yeah,
come
Lawrence.
on,
Yeah,
Seattle.
yeah,
Or
Seattle, Dexter
yeah,
Lawrence,
yeah,
right?
Dexter
Yeah,
Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence. So they brought in guys to kind of help build that up. So they
Which
got
is
some
so
vets.
funny. I always
So
be like, he didn't want to come here because he's talking about something. They just trying to go to the
yeah,
championship. I'm just trying to, and now look at
yeah. So to that point where like they brought in the right guys
you.
with the young dudes, and again the right coach, but they built it. It came even before
So
McDonald got there. It was more they got all the young talent to kind of get to this point, and now
I
they're
think
better.
this person needs an award
Yeah,
because this is what
I
I'm
agree.
saying though, right?
It's a good
You
point.
got a Texans GM who's in year 5, the Seahawks GM is in
That's
year
a good
6,
point.
AP is in year 2. If you use this comment alone, then what we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what is, because I'm still like, okay, year 2 in the recalibration, everything fell apart, right? But once you establish, I still think in year 3 you need to establish that identity. But what makes sense? You need to establish it. That I think you need to execute on it as well.
Yeah.
However, what makes sense? Because see, this goes back to, and we can have a whole nother conversation about this. This goes back to what I've been talking about and what we've been talking about, Wole, about there is something to be said about the consistency. If you keep firing everybody every other year, where is the consistency?
I agree with that.
Where is it? Unless something has just gone wrong in the building and is kept up under, under wraps, where is it? Because at the end of the day, Harbs got fired after how many years? After almost 2 decades. Mike Tomlin steps down. Sean McDermott was given some time. We're talking coaching staffs, but it's going to take time to get to nail it. And these are 2 teams that we haven't even been talking about yet. This year, they are like the daggone standard in a lot of different ways. And so defensively, we go on that. And Seattle, I'll say from a complimentary football perspective, I'll give them that as well. But like, but I think that comment that we just highlighted from
Kevin was a great comment.
It's a great comment, and everybody needs to read it and see it because that's the truth. Like, you can't, like, what are everybody expecting? I'm even expecting a lot, but I'm like, start from somewhere. Know your starting point. Know where at least you are starting, and you gotta trust that and like you said, like nail it and keep it and stick to it. And if you're trying to teach people how to do turnovers and tackle when they get here, I just, we can talk about that a whole nother time too, because I just think that's too late.
Yeah, you just got to bring it again, like it's a process. It's all a process. You got to drive right. You got to bring in the guys that you believe in. Got to cultivate an environment. Bring in the right free agents. It's all in all. Everything goes hand in hand, but you got to see it coming. Like
you got to be a visionary.
It's got to see it coming. You can't just have what makes it disturbing compared to the situations that we saw in those other situations that we're talking about was that you saw it coming. Like defensively, regardless of what you want, like Seattle, you saw it coming. Like, you look at what they, the secondary, you saw like Kobe Bryant, I think it's his name, young boy, Kobe Bryant. Yeah. You saw it even early before Mike, you saw that the young talent they started to get before Mike McDonald. But Mike McDonald's a good defensive coordinator, but
absolutely.
You saw it prior to that. You're like, oh, they got talent. Like the first thing you would come out your mouth, like they got talent. So it's not like they never had talent. Same with Houston, like they've always had talent coming up on the defense, but then you get the right dude who know defense, and it's a different beast. So the thing with Washington is like we can't say not Willing. Williams okay. Williams all right too, but Williams okay, but he ain't as good as who am I trying to think of the Illinois kid, his name, but for Washington, we haven't really seen a sturdy defense, or seen that type of year one under this regime was cool, but you saw big leaks obviously because the Eagles put 50-something points on you in the championship game. So but you want to see where you're carrying so much talent where you could say, you know what, I see it. Like on the offensive side, we can say we see it because Witherspoon. Thank you, Paul Witherspoon.
That's what y'all was talking about.
Yeah, Witherspoon like that. He was drafted out of Illinois.
He was in the same draft with Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, exactly. All of them in the same draft. Yep, exactly. All same draft. He was the first. He was the first corner draft.
He was the first corner gone. He went at 9. I remember that.
He liked that. So they've always. My point is they've set themselves up to be in this situation. To have all this young talent to be in this situation. So you look at. You're looking at Washington, like it's eventually they're gonna have to set themselves up so we all can see, I say as fans, oh, it's coming. Like I feel like getting Trey Amos, it's coming. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna say that because I think I've seen it. Now hopefully he backs up after the injury, he kind of gets to a point where it's at.
And Mikey, I saw it in Mikey. They just had.
I saw it in Mikey too, but I'm just like it's such a down year. Everybody knows I'm high on Mikey, but it was such a down year compared to his first year. Like his first year, we saw it. Like I'm not gonna you're right. We saw it too.
Absolutely, they just had the wrong position. I think
the wrong time. Yeah, exactly. But we got to see it now with everybody working together, where it's like it's coming for real. Like they got to be a unit where they're not like the offense ain't bailing them out. They got to be the unit to be like, it's on us. On certain games, it's on us. We got to see it through one portion of the season. I'm not saying that the totality of the season. I'm not saying they got to be the Houston Texans. I'm not even saying they got to be the Seattle Seahawks. What I'm saying is, like, in the process of growth, we got to see it go from a defense that can't stop a nosebleed to a defense where let's use one element. They're tackling good, like they're tackling better. They're getting
at least ain't nobody missing no tackles.
Exactly. Then you know, like, it's coming.
Takeaways and missed tackles.
Exactly. So you'll know it's coming. That's when you'll be like, okay, they're turning the corner. You know what I mean? Or if it's a year they're getting a bunch of turnovers. Oh,
right. If it's right,
that's okay, we're on the route of we're now in year 3 where we're talking about year 3. We're in this situation. I'm not asking for a dramatic shift of being from one of the worst defenses in the NFL to being a top 5 defense. I'm not asking for all of that because I don't even think the individuals that are remaining, I'm not gonna lie to you, the individuals that are remaining as coordinators who are like really realistic individuals. That's the term I like to use. The realistic individuals that this team can really bring in are at the level to say that I believe that are coordinators that are that elite of coordinators. No, I don't think they're all that elite, but I do think some of these coordinators, if given the opportunity, can grow into being somebody special. And I think that's what's important.
What will be important to know, I think, is there such thing as time? Is there a time limit? Because to your point, right? You got to your point, you got an offensive coordinator who is not called plays.
Yeah.
He's created plays. He's been an active contributor.
Yeah, which is different.
In game planning, but that is very different.
It's different, man. It's different.
Calling on game day.
Yeah, I agree. It's different.
OMG. I would have gave up a long time ago. I'd have been like, I just can't do it.
Cliff is creative, but we could make the argument of being a play caller. We had issues with it because it's the scenery, it's the sequencing of how you call plays that makes you a good play caller. It's not always the play design, it's the sequencing, and it's how you set it up. It's basically, we all hear the term, folks are playing checkers while I'm playing chess. That's pretty much what it is when you're a play caller. Folks can be playing checkers, and they good at playing checkers, but the elites are playing chess.
They playing chess, or you just don't even know what they playing. They might have played checkers in one series, but now they back playing chess. Like you figured that out, but because you did, now it's almost like they baited you. You thought you
agreed,
or you thought you knew what we was doing, didn't you? And here they go. Like, to your point, and it's like it is. And I've talked to some people where it's like sometimes that is a tactic. Well, I'm gonna bait you for a little bit because I want to see what type of time y'all on.
Yeah,
for real.
Gets it, yeah.
And and then if you just, it is a balance, like we always been saying. And like you said, it could be the argument of these people are creative. Calling games on game day, and so that becomes and that's another topic for another day as well. Because I think, okay, you got to perform. Everybody's healthy, you're gonna have to perform. But is there some grace, especially if you have 2 new play callers?
Yeah,
as coordinators.
Is there grace?
There should be. You know what I mean?
There should be grace with the offense. I do believe that with the offense,
you have also a new one on defense.
Well, it depends who you hire as your coordinator on defense. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. If you hire Raheem Morris, they may not be as much.
No, because that's an experienced play caller.
Yeah,
you have someone. You have Al Harris, right?
There should be some grace. There should be some grace.
So it's like because his forte is.
He's a DB. He's a DB guy. Secondary
program is the art of getting takeaways and doing a takeaway. You can't. It doesn't always align to effective play caller.
Yeah, of course. That's like anything.
Play caller. Immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know, you know what I mean, and that's why it's like, all right, everybody, I'm here. We already here to temper expectations and to be objective and to help everybody out. The experienced play caller, like you said, you used an excellent example.
Yeah.
Experienced play caller, it's a little different bag.
Yeah.
Inexperience, potential to have experienced play caller on offense and on defense.
And And I do want to add this too. I know it's easy. This is the thing too. Like it's easy, and we all do it. So I don't act like no one's. We all do it. When someone is on an awesome staff, we all just assume that this person is going to
And
be
they,
just as elite as the defensive coordinator. Like say he's a position coach, he's a linebackers coach, and the defensive coordinator was just would say, yeah, let's use Brian Flores because everybody like Brian Flores as an example. Man, you know what? Screw that. Let's use
who
D'Amico
is
Ryan as an
super
example.
duper experienced, by the
Yeah,
way. You know what
yeah.
I'm
Let's
saying?
use
So it's
yeah,
almost unfair to use Brian Flores. You
yeah,
can, but it's almost unfair to use him because we know this is somebody else who has not always had the best of feedback and experience as a head coach
yeah.
and in other
Definitely.
areas, right? But as a
Mhm.
defensive play caller, he excels. But not, it just depends on the year. But he's super duper experienced. So it's always hard rating him against like people who are new to this.
Yeah, so I won't even put him out. But I won't put him because that's I'll use the Miko Ryans only because like
I
he has the
think
number one
Nico was
defense.
the one.
Yo,
Yeah,
he's great. Miko's amazing. Like he's amazing. But
he
I'm
sure
using him as an example, like because he's a leader at what he does, right? He's elite,
is.
just like Brian Flores. They're all both
Yeah.
elite. But since he had the number one defense, I'm gonna use him as an example because he had the number one defense.
Yep.
So just because you're on his staff doesn't mean you're gonna be just as good as a defensive coordinator as him. You would hope, but doesn't mean you're gonna be as good as him. You know what I mean? Like because we all seen it. There is a thing where there are certain trees, and I call this like certain coaching trees that don't line up to being a great coach. Like the Andy Reid tree, ain't it's good, but it doesn't have a lot of longevity. Like you'll give it
Mhm.
a year or two, but you're not getting the long run of being a great coach. Like
Yeah.
the Shanahan tree is pretty dope. Yeah, obviously that tree is pretty dope.
Yeah.
But like, so it is a track record with it saying, all right, you come from this tree, you're gonna have a good offense. If anything, you're gonna have a good offense. That's the tree shows you that you're gonna have a really solid offense. But if we're looking at like defense, that's a whole different animal. Just because you come from a good defensive tree doesn't make you a good defensive
Man,
coordinator.
it's
Like
hard.
it doesn't really it's not really a thing. Because like Mike McDonald he came from Michigan for real. Like he was on Michigan staff,
Yep.
and then he went to Baltimore because Michigan, John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh. Like
Yep.
that's why he went. That's really why he went to Baltimore. So it's just to me like you're now if you're on his staff doesn't and Mike McDonald is a different beast. He's a young dude, so you don't know what his tree is going to be. So I think it's really we all do it. Like
Yeah.
all these front offices do it. Like and fans do it. Like that's what they want. I want somebody from that staff. And front office people do it too.
Right.
I want somebody from that staff. But it doesn't always mean that person is going to be elite
Yep.
at being a said defensive coordinator or a said offensive
And that's
coordinator or a
and
said head coach.
and that's why I wanted to go through the exercise as well of all the available jobs because
Mhm.
sometimes your job might be a bit easier if you got the talent.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's very important. That's why
It's like you're coming in with
I
talent.
agree with it. I agree with it. I agree with that. I just
It's
totally
like,
agree with that.
ooh,
Yeah.
when you
That
start
there's a
looking at
yeah.
other job opportunities, you're like,
Well,
well,
I use that example for as much as everybody calls him the boy wonder, and he's a good coach. Sean McVay winning the Super Bowl, but there's a reason why his transition to the Rams is much easier than a lot of coaches because to your point, yes, he was a fresh game, he was a fresh young play caller, but also like they gave him that off season and go back and look, they gave him so much talent,
he had so much.
so it made him because
So much.
when you're growing into a position, it gave you so much talent that it was hard for him to be. It would be hard for him to fail of being even a solid play
Mhm.
caller. He had Todd Gurley. He had like
TV.
he had Gurley. He had
He had
Sammy
a
Watkins
very
Jr.
good team
He had
walking in.
Woods. He had what's the quarterback now that's playing for the Lions? Jared Goff. But now I'll give him credit. He's kind of he transformed Jared Goff. That's why he deserves a lot of flowers. But you had, and then on the flip side on defense, they signed all these defensive players that help him, help him out. So they helped
they had a lot of money too.
Yeah, they made a lot of money. No, they went ham in free agency, and they traded draft picks. So like they to your point, to what you said earlier, to your point, they brought in talent so the transition could be good for him, so he wouldn't struggle. Therefore, throughout the process, he gets to learn and grow and then become a better coach because of it. So then he kind of gets into his own bag, into his own confidence. Now, being a coach isn't as new, and he can go through things. So I think it's very important. I think that's an excellent point. I think it's very important to whoever they bring in. It can't. This is why I said about Joe Whitt Jr. And this is where I'm actually I'm going to side with Joe Whitt Jr. And I know him, and folks know, like, I've been rough on this dude, but I feel like because you're asking him to come into this situation as a young defensive coordinator, you didn't give him the talent for him to work with, for him to make him look good. Because again, you can't just give him decent talent. You got to give, just like I talked about Sean McVay, you got to give him extreme above, like damn near top tier elite talent. Therefore, he can learn, he can grow into the situation, he can grow into it, and then makes him a better coach. And maybe in year 3, he's kind of getting comfortable calling plays and become a better defensive coordinator. So, but if you're going to give him, if you're expecting him, give him this amount of talent, and you expect him to be a D'Amico Ryans or expecting him to be a Brian Flores, he's going to fail because he's not at that level. So you got, sometimes when you are at this level as a coach, you got to give me this level of talent. Therefore, I can kind of graduate year by year. I can get better to a point where I'm now a good defensive coordinator and I can work with lesser talent.
Yep. And that's why I'm like, this one right here is way harder than people think. Given the current state of affairs on that side of the football.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is difficult. And this is not to be like a Debbie Downer. This is just me being honest. It's hard.
I think it has to be a situation where it's more, it's front office, it's front office in terms of whoever they bring in, they got to make sure they make life easy for that individual. That's
all I know is if you want them to get takeaways and you want people that can tackle, you bring in people that already get takeaways. So you help them to refine and you bring in people that can already tackle.
Perfect. I agree.
Whatever the weight size is, whoever they went up against in college, whatever it is, whoever they played against, what is their tackle margin?
Oh, I agree.
And
that's my thought process.
This is crazy. I mean, I don't know why I do it to myself. I went back and watched some more games. I'm like, what? These missed tackles. And you know, that's one of the things, if you watch the playoffs, you don't see very many missed tackles from these teams. But I'm going to tell you, when you do see a missed tackle, it just ruins the whole series. And I'm like, the Commanders would do that all game. It was sad. Some of that stuff was sad. Like I would just be like, it was just like, what happened? Were they tired? I don't know. But speaking about talent and speaking about year 1 and year 2 and all of that, we had another question. And this question is, I don't think we talk about the safety position. We talk about the safety position. You know, in year 1 of this regime, Jeremy Chinn, you know, that was a player we saw get better. I mean, all of them were getting better as the season went on in year 1. But that was, when we talk about tackling, that was definitely a player we saw just become an example of the identity that they wanted to have.
True.
What it meant to tackle and what it meant to, you know, arrive violently, but still be clean. Now sometimes he would get like a penalty. You know, he would get a penalty, but most of the time he was clean. It was rough. It was rough to watch sometimes, but it was a tackle.
He's violent. No, he's violent. He's violent.
He's violent. He understood the assignment.
Yes, there you go. I like the way that's the
He understood the assignment.
That's what it was.
And then, you know, lost him in free agency. The responding guy, Will Harris. But now Will Harris, you know, for his excellent communication skills, all of those things, and he was injured a good portion of the season. But what else needs to happen at that position, right? And so that came up. I'll get your thoughts, Wole, and see, what the comments say. But it's a thing. I think the team lost something there. For sure with Jeremy. It illuminated itself. Now I think he ended up closing the season out with the Raiders on IR with the back issue. But just that tackle piece of it, and how they would show up. Now, Will Harris, I think, was excellent in coverage. I think was excellent. And like his communication skills also great, excellent. But it did hurt that he wasn't there all season as well due to injury. I think he started out very strong though. I was excited to see what else he could bring, but when he got hurt in the Raiders game and then didn't come back until after the bye for the Denver game. So just thoughts there on just the evaluation there. How do you evaluate what just what's needed from that position? Yes, everybody says, oh, Caleb Downs got it, good, cool. But we've often talked about Quan. We didn't really see, Tyler Owens. I keep forgetting to make Tyler Owens. We didn't see that. We didn't see that continue to go up. Revo came in and saved the day. Quite a few instances, where he could, he's one person, but he definitely did, make his speed known, his presence known. He did get a pick in that last game of the season. So I just think that I talk about Percy a lot, but we see a lot more of Percy's energy and his contributions on special teams. So I talk a lot about the safety position because I just think that's, there's always so much other stuff going on, right? Because there's so many different pieces. We could talk about every position really, but just thoughts on that safety position. Because I don't think like everybody, it wasn't something that was a lot of talk about. And that's what Wole and I talked about. We were like, we're not really talking about this. I'll stop there.
So the safety position it needs to be handled. It's been a problem. I thought we had it fixed last year. Year before last, I guess. Last year, because we were still in the season. Last year, with the way Quan and Jeremy Chin played last year. And I think there's something to be said about, having chemistry. And it's good. Yeah. And we could talk about Will Harris, good in coverage and good qualities, but there was chemistry, obviously, between Quan and Jeremy Chin and how it worked out. There was chemistry there because I feel like in the secondary and the safety in the back end, Quan and Jeremy played great together.
They did.
Compared to whatever version of Quan, even with when Will Harris out there is still, but wasn't the Quan that we saw with Jeremy Chin. You know what I mean? And I do think that was important. To me, for whatever reason, whatever happened, that was a mess up. Not having Chin back. And it's not a knock. I did see good things from Will Harris, so it's just not a knock on Will Harris. I thought, to your point, there are plays. I was like, oh yeah, he can cover. He can cover.
Absolutely. He can cover.
But I don't. To me, Jeremy Chin did a good job covering tight ends. I'm not asking Jeremy Chin to cover wide receivers. But he also brought physicality. He created turnovers. He did things that Harris didn't, to be bluntly honest with you. Chin did he created turnovers, made hits. He was imposing. He brought physicality. This team didn't have any physicality this season. You let a lot of the guys who did have physicality go, and that was a guy who brought extreme physicality. You know what I mean? And I think that was missing on this team. This team wasn't tough enough last year, to be honest with you, because they barely stopped the run last year. But this year they were super soft. I'm going to say that and be totally transparent. And that's even compared to last year where they weren't great against the run. This year they were 10 times worse to me in terms of physicality. They didn't bring any pain, didn't need anything. So at least last year, I feel like the year before last year, they had flashes of showing some physicality, flashes of having some dominance on the defensive side of the football. This year, other than the Giants, who did they really dominate on defense? So I do think that that is something that safety position was definitely missed. I think Chin was definitely missed. And go ahead.
I just we hear so much about the edge rush, which mattered.
It matters big time.
That still mattered. I think I saw George's question, and George, remember in the last, I don't know if he watched the last show of the season, we said that we said, do you think the DC hiring? We said, well, Adam Peters, he already gave us a clue. Remember that last show we did?
He said pass rush. He said pass rush. He said pass rush. He pretty much let y'all know what time it is.
He said, he said pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I see this question here, and I do think it's important.
Oh, that one? This right here?
Yeah, I just put it up. Keep it up. Yeah.
I got you.
Will Harris was in response to Jeremy Chin going to sign with the Raiders. So I just want to make sure that narrative is clear.
Okay. Yeah.
So because that is somebody that they lost in free agency. And when I say lost, I mean they you know what I mean?
I know. I didn't want to go into
that wasn't an expectation. They wanted him back.
Yeah.
And they wanted him back. Let me be very clear. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes, they did. Yes, they absolutely did. And he signed with the Raiders. And then the CWall Harris. So because that narrative, I think that's important. Because of what Jeremy Chin brought, I do think that's important. But and you got to make a move, right? I mean, it's like, oh, Jeremy Chin, oh God, he's gone to the Raiders, and they signed Will Harris. So it wasn't that they did not want Jeremy. And I just want to make sure that that's clear. Yeah. But it's always talk about the pass rush. It's always talk about linebackers. It's always talk about Marshawn Lattimore, whatever. And I'm like, everybody avoided what is happening in the safety position or what's going on there. Do they know? That is an important position. And I'm going to talk about that because all of the positions are important. And you really get to see when you're watching the playoffs, and go ahead and drop in the chat which playoff game you really, really liked. Because some of these games, when you're really, really looking, I mean, hey, for what it's worth, and I know Cam Curl didn't get a lot of turnovers. When he was here, he wasn't getting a lot of turnovers in general, but his presence is known.
He's always one of the best safeties in football.
His presence is known.
Yeah, he was always good.
His presence is known.
That's a whole different topic too. Cam Curl.
Yeah,
you can include that one if you want to play with it.
It's a thing. The safety position is all of them are very important.
Yeah.
But it's like,
because Cam Curl was that was a good one. I forgot. You know what? Yeah. Because because even over Chin, they should. I like Chin. He grew on me. But Cam Curl,
I didn't like Jeremy Chin at first, and I was like, "What's wrong with him?" But I mean, it was he mapped to their identity.
Yeah, but Cam Curl was the better overall player. To me, he's a better overall player than Jeremy Chin. But they didn't put the effort to keep him. Because Cam Curl was always he was almost rookie of the year. I mean, he was almost all pro, all rookie his rookie year with Chase Young, because he came in the same year Chase. And he was a late draft pick. So he was a late rounder. He wasn't, but he's always, and he had a chance to be in a Pro Bowl a few times in Washington. Cam Curl is an interesting one. That I didn't even want to put when you mentioned him, dang, that's kind of in the conversation too.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good one.
And I'm not sure why the safety position hasn't been more of a topic, than it has been, because I think there's been other topics that I feel like some things like Mikey. He was that was scheme. He was in the wrong position. Okay, next topic. You know what I mean? It was, some things you just know, it's this or it's that, or it's this or it's that. You know what it is, and you don't have to play favorites or use the age card, because that safety group we ain't got no age card there. But that's a position that needs to be looked at and reviewed. And what is the expectation for what you want there? Because this is a very important position.
So Cam Curl, you got me with Cam Curl. God, damn, he was that's Cam Curl was a good one. Yeah.
It's a lot. And if you are the defensive coordinator for I don't
Because
know.
he could have been a command. He could have stayed if they wanted it. They chose to go with Chin and like trying to revamp the whole. Because Cam could have stayed if they wanted to keep Cam.
Well,
They
yeah.
could. He could have. If they didn't want to keep because they were getting rid of everybody from because he's a free agent when they came in. Yeah, they could have. They had a chance. Yeah, well, they have it. They have the chance to bring her back on the offseason. Oh yeah, he's a free agent. That's true. Cam is a free agent.
I think ain't Jeremy come back?
I think Chin is affected the Terry holdout situation. Yeah, I mean, Candy can give you more on that than I can. I think
all I'll say is yes, Jeremy Chin and Terry do have the same agent.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what he was saying at first, but now I know exactly what you're saying. What you are saying. And yes, they have the same agent.
So, but yeah.
This will be interesting. This is an interesting off season. Interesting.
Do you think Quan starts next year? Do you think he get a chance to be a starter next year?
I mean, sure, he get a chance. You know, he could.
Do you think they'll bring somebody into? Do you think they'll bring in somebody who can easily? I would say possibly. You know, because I feel like you bring somebody. Do you feel like will they bring somebody? No, you know what? Forget it. Are you gonna bring somebody to replace him basically as a starter via draft or free agency?
I mean, this is okay. So this is why I brought the question up. This is what I'm saying. There's a lot that needs to happen at this position, everybody. Okay.
Even Will Harris, is he a starter coming?
That's what I'm saying. This is a topic. Yeah. The safety position is a topic because Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs starting if he come here. Like that's
beautiful. But is that enough? Is it that?
I mean, that's well, I will say this.
Is it enough? I don't think so.
Maybe it is. For you. I don't know. I think maybe it is because this is the thing. I'm gonna say this. This is very important for me when I say this. This is very important. Like I think this is what Washington.
He's phenomenal. Let me be clear. I think he is phenomenal.
Yeah. I want to. No. But I feel like this is the thing. This is important. This is whoever. Not like all right. To your point, there's no one man can beat a whole team. Period. Or one unit. So that's to that point. Yes, I'm totally agree with that statement. But what this team does need, and I'm going to always say this. I don't know whoever that is in this draft. Whoever they do draft, they need, and this is like it is, and they got some good solid, they got some pieces. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that like Trey Amos, Mikey, they're good, they solid, they pieces, but you need a JD5 on the defense.
Oh I don't know who JD5 is.
You're going to need that guy on defense.
I thought it was Mikey, and it still could be.
Yeah.
It still could be Mikey. It could be Trey. I don't know.
Well, I don't think
go ahead. Somebody that when he sounds off the alarm, you know what's going on. Or the alarm is just always sounded. It's always sounded. Well, and you look at it was just some things that was happening this year that I'm gonna be like, and they played in every game. What would life have been like if Mikey would have just been back outside like he should have been, you know what I mean? Like what could this have been? You know, these things matter. Or, you know, with Quan, with Frankie, with some of these people played every game. There were 3 players that they really, really needed to have excellent seasons. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You know, they needed those 3 to have excellent seasons. And it just didn't work out. And one of them you saw get less and less snaps as the year went on. And you like, oh my gosh, how did this level of regression happen? And so I just, it's not good. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you got some work to do on that side of the football.
Warren Rich Jr. 1949 says, I think they will bring back Bobby.
Why not? I mean, he's the only person who's tackling consistently.
Yeah, Caleb Downs could be. I agree. I think Caleb Downs is. I feel like Caleb Downs is like an all-world. Like I think there's levels to elite talent. Like I mean, everybody knows it. I'm biased. I mean, I love Mikey. Everybody knows
the edge rusher is that they get accepted.
That or Baines is like that too. But like Mikey could be a really, really good player, but dominant player. Mikey can't be a dominant player. But Caleb Downs is a dominant player. Trey Amos, the jury's still out. I think Trey Amos could dominate the side. But we'll see what kind of corner he is. Like, is he a corner that could take stuff to the house? He's just a corner who's just covered his opponent thoroughly. there's levels to like, corner being an elite corner.
You
But
need a
like,
game record.
yeah, game record. And that's up that. There you go. There you go.
Who is the Commanders
There you go.
game record?
There you go. That's the best way to say it.
There's game records. Like you look at the Eagles, you already know Jalen Carter.
The game records.
Who's the other one? Jordan Davis.
Mitchell, Quinyon Mitchell's a game record. All them dudes game record. Jordan Davis, you're right. They're all game records.
Jalen Carter. It's game records.
Yeah, they're all game records.
You know what I mean? You got good players. You got to make some good players in there too. But who is going to be the game record? Who's going to be the Michael Parsons? I'm not saying they have to be like Michael Parsons. I'm talking about just the game record. Will Anderson is a game record. Yeah. And then everybody else just follows suit.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to tell you who had a that Christian Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Christian Gonzalez fan though. But and so yes, game record. And that's the thing.
Bain is like that. Ruben Bain is like that. T Rose, I know. Ruben Bain is like that. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all I'm saying. Game record.
That's I like that. No, you're right. And I do
game record. Like somebody you like, oh dang. You know what I mean? You're just like, this man, he's just in a way. But it's still like a game record. Like we can talk about Micah in Dallas, but we can also talk about Micah in Green Bay, where it's like him being a game record then made a Rashawn Gary, be who he is. I mean, because like you said, they were already good without Micah.
Gary was good. Yeah, they was good, but it makes you better though.
Oh man, exactly.
It makes you better.
A game record makes other people better on the field.
Yeah, Sean, yeah.
Somebody that's just a disruptor. They just in the way. They just come through and they just run right through your offensive line. Yeah. And I mean, you see glimpses of it. And to your point earlier, you probably saw more instances of potential game records year one than we did year two of this staff. But they don't have a consistent game record. It's not somebody that when you're even preparing for the game or watching the game, you're like, okay, they gotta look out for that guy.
No, they don't got that guy.
For that guy.
Don't got that guy.
No,
don't got that guy. I don't got that guy at all. But I want to like some of my man Paul said. Like he said, JD5 equivalent would have to come from the front four or dominant linebacker. I do disagree with that. The only reason why I disagree with that statement because Ed Reed was a game record and he was a safety and he write games all the time. I mentioned, and these are people that Caleb Downs is compared to. You got Troy Polamalu, game record safety. Earl Thomas, game record safety. These are dudes this man's compared to. So that's a game record. Like regardless of the position. Sometimes when you that dude from that position and you're that high for a reason. You're now in the level of the guys that I'm talking about. Those dudes aren't just regular safeties. Those are special safeties. You're a game record. If you play that well, you're a game record. So that's why I only disagree with my man Paul. There's levels to it.
What did he say? I don't think
he said that Paul said it was here. I put it. He said the JD equivalent would have to come from the front four or dominant linebacker. And I'm like, that's not totally true because there's examples of when you're that high level of a player like a safety, you could be a game record and control a game. Because we saw it, like I said, Troy Polamalu used to control the game. Like he controlled the game in Pittsburgh as a safety. Like he was a problem. Ed Reed controlled the game as a safety. He was a problem.
This is why I'm like, can we please talk about the safety position? Because we have seen historically
Sean Taylor red game. Sean Taylor red game. So yeah.
Game record.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? Yes, you need somebody but when we're naming these game records, we done named somebody who's had it on a defensive line. On their game record was on the defensive line. But their game record was at linebacker. Their game record was at safety. Yeah. It's normally one of those positions. Right, when you say like the game record, you know what I mean? Because you can play, especially with a safety, you can play a safety in too many other positions. You can play them like a linebacker, or keep him as a true safety. And so it's so many things that you could do with whoever that person is, I can tell you right now, they don't have that. They don't have a game record.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna put this to Paul. You talking about they all had Sean Taylor didn't have a dominant defensive line, and he was
No,
a game record. So I'm just saying, like I said, like you don't need to even if Earl Thomas, they didn't have they had a bunch of they didn't have an elite defensive line. They had good defensive linemen, but they weren't elite game record. Like you can say Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, but they weren't. Terrell Suggs is elite, but if you watch Ed Reed, what you know, if you watch football, you know them defensive linemen ain't no near made reason why Ed Reed was dominant. So I get what you trying to go with that. But that defense line ain't nothing to do with no Ed Reed.
But
don't do that. Like,
I'm talking about somebody that they wreck the game.
Of course, yeah, I know you're talking about.
Like it's one person. And you just know there's nobody that when they're playing, they're like, oh, you gotta look out for this person. Now, the person that you might think is probably the least expecting person that everybody thinks that people watch out for on the Commanders defense, but it ain't necessarily because of his gameplay, it's because of his intellect. You know what I'm saying? And so Nick Sirianni was the one who even said about this person, this dude calls out our whole plays. We have to change the play at the thing. You know what I mean? So it's like it's for a different reason, but I'm talking about straight up athleticism.
I agree.
Coming for
you're right. Your game record. I know. No, I'm with you.
One person, and now you got other people around. Let's be for
real. You gonna always have somebody around you. Like for instance, like I'm using an example. You just like people using like the safety. Listen to what Ray Lewis would always tell you. The reason why he made his life easier because he had big fat Tony Siragusa and the other dude out. Rest in peace, Tony Siragusa. But he had Tony Siragusa and the other, I think, Adams as like D tackles to take space from him. Everybody's gonna have somebody around and make their lives easier. So like no, like when you're a game record, it don't matter. When you're a game record,
you can have a game record. But the point of this conversation is the Commanders do not have one. That is the point of this conversation.
And even I would say go back, and even go back to
a game record.
And I would say go back to games when they didn't get pressure and tell me when Ed Reed didn't make an impact. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you're making it seem like Ed Reed got plays, or there are games where they didn't get to the quarterback and Ed Reed made plays. That's still a game record. You couldn't say pressure, but go back to those games and say like you can't go back. Dog, we all watch Ed Reed. I'm not going to play this game like he wasn't like a game record. Ed Reed, like he was a game record because he was Ed Reed. Like we're not going to play that game and be foolish. Like Troy Polamalu was a game record because he's Troy Polamalu. Like we're not going to act ignorant just because we're trying to make a point. Like don't get me like I can name reasons why certain players made life easier. Like life was easier because they had other players around them. I could do that for days, but I'm not going to ignore talent when I know a player is one of them. Like that defeats the purpose. Like you know what I mean? Like you got to still acknowledge that this dude was a problem. But yeah.
So I do see though the comparison of needing a JD5 on defense.
Yeah, that's like the most.
It's got to be your X factor. Who is the person that they like? Look out for that guy. And they don't have a lookout for that guy.
What's going on, Taj? Yeah, they don't have a guy like that. They don't have that guy.
I mean, you got to look out, but not like in the way we talking about. You know what I'm saying?
You're a trip.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like that's what they need. They need a game record.
Yeah, Brian Dawkins. These are good ones. Like I know for no reason. I know Timothy. I know. Like challenging just to challenge me. I don't get it. Like we don't watch football. We don't watch football. We don't know what we watch. Like we don't know what we know. Like we don't listen here and say like, oh, he a problem.
Do you want to understand what you're not?
No one ever in life said Ed Reed only a game record because he got a defensive line. Nobody ever in life does that. Like, come on. That's what we doing here. No one's ever going to say
changes your game. It's kind of like what we said. What about Rashawn Gary, right? Rashawn Gary is an excellent player, but with Michael Parsons out there, it was a bit different. We're like, woo, where Rashawn come from? He was already lit, but would I have labeled him a game record? I wouldn't have.
No, he ain't a game record. He's a good player though. Rashawn Gary is a good player.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
No, he's not a game because he can't take over a game. Like he can't. Like you can't. Like some of these players I'm talking about, they can take over a game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain people that they take over a game. Like there's a reason that, for instance, I always use it like the reason why Richard Sherman looked so elite, and he's an elite corner. But
For
what
sure.
made him unstoppable is that he had Earl Thomas in the back end, and he covered all of his flaws. Like that is elite. Like that is elite play. You're pretty much cutting out the deep ball because you're so good at tracking stuff down. Defenses when offenses have to game, to your point, Candi, when offenses have to game plan for you are changing the game. Like I don't care what you try to. When offenses say we got to worry about you, like Tom Brady would always say, we got to worry. Tom Brady said this. We got to worry about number 20 in Baltimore, and that was Ed Reed. Like that means you changed the game. Like when somebody
Parsons gives Jay
did. Yeah, exactly. When Jay Daniels sees Micah Parsons, yeah, that's a good one. Like with Micah Parsons, yeah, when Jaden sees Micah, it's like, okay, that's changing. That lets you know that you're a problem. Like so. Nah, man, Watson needs that.
Like he's too fast. He's just, my God, how did you get here so fast? And he can tackle.
Chris Jones is a game wrecker. Exactly, he is. Chris Jones with the Kansas City is a game wrecker. Yeah, because when you gotta focus on a particular player, and you focus on that player, and that player still does damage.
Yeah,
it is what it is, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you got they need a game record.
Oh yeah, she was free. Yeah, Sanders, there were problems. Had to worry about. That's the only two they had to worry about for the coach was on their those two on defense was it, because that defense was not good.
And I know he's one of the OGs. Mm-hmm. But I was listening to. Did you see that interview with Shannon Sharp and John Elway? And he said that the most talented player he's ever drafted was Von Miller.
Yeah, I mean it's facts.
So I told Von about that. But they were talking about Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they were like, Von was incredible. Like
Von was crazy. He was crazy.
He was a game, like he just Aaron Donald. That's
a different level of game wrecking too.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but they were like Von. It's just like he was like a madman. Von was incredible. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole Super Bowl run. They need a game record.
Oh, they do.
The game record, then everybody else becomes who will be the Commanders game record. We gonna play that game for who will be the designated game record. You know, that just helps. Then it just boils over for everybody else. Like I said, Will Anderson, I would kind of give him that.
Oh, he a game record. No, he a big game record. Will Anderson a big game record. Will Anderson
is a game record.
He a big game record.
Then it just transcends. That's your Jaden. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what we need. You know what Jaden is.
We need that
factor.
Jaden's a game record. Jaden's a game record, and you need somebody like Jaden on the defensive side of football where that the defense could be like, okay, we got him. We just got to fall in line. Like, that's what you need. You need somebody where sometimes you just like, look.
And that daggone Eagles, they got several game records.
Yeah, you got to have an alpha on that side that's about that life, and it's all about that work.
Game records, and I think that the 49ers just outsmarted them on a couple plays, and that's how they got that game. I'm glad they did, but I'm just saying, still game record applies. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Kenyon. I know, I mean, I would call not this season, I think, because he had injuries, but Pastor Tane was something like a game record.
No. He's a big time game record. He changes the game. No, definitely.
He changes the game
because he takes away one side. He takes away one side.
He changes how you game plan. And people feed off of him.
Oh, this is good. Steven has a question. Says what? That was my next question to you both. Who is our next game record? No, the next game. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's in the draft. That's who their game record is in. Their game record is in the draft. And they do it correctly. They get in the game record. They're in a position to draft, in my opinion, and that's a whole different show. They're in a position. They're in a position in the draft where there's about 5 layers defensively, not offensively.
But they can get it. This year though, right? They can. I mean, I think that's the only like silver lining in this. Like, you could get an opportunity here. You got an opportunity here.
Yeah, I mean, there is a game record on offense too, but that's a whole different. At running back, that's a game record too. But like, they're in a situation, the space where, I mean, you know me, I'm all about getting the best player available. So like, there is like they can get a game record regardless of what. There's one offensive game record in my opinion, one offensive game record, and there's the rest, and where they're slotted at. There's about 4 defensive players who can wreck the game for you at 7. There's that, like, offensively, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna put this out. Like look. If I'm gonna tell y'all as Commander fans, I know people be mad. We'll be mad, but even though I know they need an edge rusher in the worst way, like they need an edge rusher to me in the worst way, I would not be mad. They drafted Jordan. If they drafted Love from Notre Dame, the running back, I would not be mad because that is like getting Bijan. That's like getting Bijan Robinson. Do you care? That's like getting Bijan Robinson.
Incredible. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know. That's like getting Bijan Robinson. That's like that's like a whole look. I'm telling folks, man, when the Cincinnati Bengals drafted Jamar Chase, everybody look, if you go back, he wasn't supposed to be the one that was getting drafted for them. Because everybody was talking about it was supposed to be the left tackle. They need the left tackle, and they were like, nah, like.
I mean, you just roll with best player available. I would at that high. You just got to roll with best player available.
Yeah, but I'm with you though. But look, my preference is a defensive player. But I'm just telling folks. But I'm telling you, like, if we talk, I'm letting you know. Just an imagination.
Not far off. Let me also.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Not a far fetch.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm just saying. Love it. I'm just putting this out there for folks. Love and Jaden is super scary. Like that combination is not. That is like that is the fear that will fear the life of God on defenses. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That would put so much fear into anybody's life if you put Love and Jaden together. But anyway, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. Not saying it's gonna happen. Thank you, Mom Wall. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mom.
Appreciate you, Mom
Wall. Who are all these people you talking about? All these people. I only know Jaden and Bobby.
Oh, this is a good question, Earl. This is a good question. Earl said, "Can we get a possible game record in free agency?" I think so. We could.
I mean, who's available? Is there a game?
I don't know. Oh, that's a good question. I'm sure. I'm trying to think who.
Because I'm not into creating anymore. If they not it when you bring them in,
you know what? That's a good question, Earl. I don't know. Dang, maybe because you don't let them players go, Earl. You know what? Nah, not like.
I don't think so. I think you got to draft.
You got to draft. You got to draft the game record.
You got to draft the game record.
Yeah,
because he's a drafted game record.
Yeah, you're right.
These guys we talking about in here recently, and I think even the guys they're drafted game records. Now, I remember I asked you this, Wole. I said, you think AP gonna go get Max Crosby? Yeah, he got that bad knee. Okay, because let's if he injured, no, because
well, I don't think he's going to because he's got a trade for him, right?
True.
That's and they don't got no draft capital. They don't ain't got no draft capital to trade for him. They just don't. They didn't trade all for the
game record.
They got to draft it. They can't get they can't afford.
I mean, everybody that we're naming. Past and present, right? These were drafted players. You know, for the teams that they were game records on. They were other than Mike. Well, Micah was drafted. You see what I'm saying?
Henderson is not a game record, but he's a solid player. Henderson's not a game record.
No, he's not a game record.
He's not a game record. He's a good player. It's like Ryan Kerrigan. Like it's like saying Ryan Kerrigan.
He's very good.
He's like Ryan Kerrigan. He's a really good player. He's not a game record. He's a really good player.
No, you need a game record. I think they got to draft their game record.
Yeah. How many sacks did Henderson have this year? Do you have a lot of sacks this year?
Oh, like Myles Garrett is a game record.
I mean, obviously, he's like
but Trey Henderson is not.
Yeah, he's a cheat code. How many sacks did Henderson have this year? Do you have a bunch of sacks this year?
I don't know.
I ain't really hear his name like that. Their defense sucks. So I didn't hear his name like that. So
not like the year before.
And to that point, real talk. To that point, like Hendrickson, their defense sucked. What kind of impact do you have on that defense? As a passer.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. I mean, it goes back to but see, I love that because that's why it's like even a Myles Garrett. I mean, you're gonna get paid.
His defense is good. His defense is good though.
Right, but it doesn't, it
doesn't equate to wins all the time, yeah.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, but you gotta be that goes on building a whole team.
It's gotta be so much that
you gotta build a team.
Yeah.
But his unit was good though. So that's why I'm getting his like his unit was good. So like
a game record is staying. I think game records are in the draft and they stick with their team. and they keep him unless you like a Michael Parsons. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Henderson and Ryan Garrison
But
about.
then,
I mean,
but
Ryan
then, but then
Garrison about the
Michael went
same.
to Green Bay. Then Michael went to Green Bay,
Was he?
and then he was still wrecking games. He was still a game wrecker in Green
You
Bay.
said Trey Amos. I don't know, man. We gotta see. I think Trey Amos is like a. I think Trey Amos is gonna be elite.
I think
he could be elite though. He can't be elite.
Listen, I think that when they have the game wrecker,
yeah,
you're gonna see it.
He'll be so much better. He's gonna be so much better.
Jaden. It's the Jaden.
I agree.
Now I think from an intellect perspective, yeah, okay, sure, but I'm like game wrecker, X factor.
I like that one, Trey Amos.
And it has to be, and the key with game wrecker, let me be clear also on the game wrecker. A key with the game wrecker is consistency. This is somebody who is always a problem.
Yes.
Even when he's not even trying to be a problem, he's just a problem because that's just him.
There you go. Yeah, I think it's just George. You're getting game record confused of what it is. Like game records are unique. Yes, you have to draft them, but do you believe that a good DC can create a manufacture chaos?
I
so
just you gotta get them
like I do think this is the thing. I do like that one. So you can. It's just that you gotta have not a good OC because you're using the term good OC is different. You gotta be a great OC just to be able to do that. Like not good. Good is like whatever. You gotta be elite to be able to manufacture pressure and still have a top end defense without having extreme, like have the game record. Like for a while, yeah, because like Brian Flores, you can make the argument that he doesn't have a total game record in Minnesota, but those guys typically would. Yeah, but those guys,
right? Some teams don't have.
Yeah.
They have great play callers.
Yes,
that
exactly.
Maximize who they have. So that
Yeah.
Now I love this, Wole, because see, there could be an argument made for exactly that.
Good
like,
point.
You don't need a game wrecker, right? You don't need a game wrecker. You just need somebody who can effectively call his team.
True.
With who you have.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I think you need a game wrecker, to your point, and somebody that can call plays to help elevate. It's just like Jaden, like you just said.
Yeah.
But I think the argument can be because I love that example you gave with Brian Flores in Minnesota's defense because they're very good. They're solid.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, George, this is a false statement. You should go back to the stats. He had a 13 and a half sack season. He has some 13 seasons. You gotta go back. He's talking about Ryan Kerrigan. George, this is a false statement. You gotta go back. So
yeah, Ryan Kerrigan wasn't no.
He had 13.
But I wouldn't call him a game wrecker, but he was.
He not. He had a 13 and a half season. He had 13 and a half sack season. He had in 2014. He had 13 sacks back-to-back years, 2017, 2018. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Ryan Kerrigan like game wrecker, but I'm saying he's not. Hendrickson ain't like he ain't a game wrecker. He ain't a game wrecker. I think there's levels to it. Like,
Ryan Kerrigan had plenty over 10 sacks.
Yeah, but it's not even that though. It's just like Hendrickson. If you go back to look at some kind of look at the stats.
Wait a minute now, Ryan Kerrigan is a legend. We're not gonna put him.
No. I'm not there. Everybody knows what I say about. I think Ryan Kerrigan gets
but let me stop. When I ain't saying you're a game record,
bro. Like, okay, all right, George, you really are extra with Trey. All right, but let me put it this way, George. As much as I get on Ryan Kerrigan for some of his sacks, Trey Henderson only had like 3 great years, dog. Like that's it. So in totality, yeah, I'm right. He's not elite. I'm not even doing this conversation. He's not elite. Trey Henderson has 4 years. I'm sorry, that's a false statement. 4 years of quality sack years. I'll give you the year with 8, but he's had years where he didn't do anything.
Who?
Trey Henderson had years where he didn't do anything.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not a game wrecker.
Let me be clear. I'm a Trey Hendrickson advocate.
Yeah, he's been good of late though. He's been good of late. Like he's had a fountain of youth moment. He's been good of late, but he's not a game wrecker. He's a quality player. That's why he's a good player, but he's okay. He's good. He's good. He's really, really good. But he's not a game wrecker. I'm not breaking the bank personally. I'm not breaking. I'd rather get Baines out of college or Bailey out of Texas Tech than get Trey Henderson personally. That's me. That's me though. I don't look at it.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing about something I'm thinking about. It was a press conference and somebody.
Yeah, he did. Brian Racco did.
It was like, what makes Michael Parsons such a game wrecker? Jada was like, because he wrecks the game.
Oh, for real? Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
It's still so funny to me because it's like that is a real thing.
Yeah.
Somebody like wrecking the game. Like,
nah, real talk. It's like it is. Like it is it's definitely a thing. It's like he wrecks games. Like seriously. No, he hasn't. Paul, I'm not Paul. Like I definitely agree with you. I'm just saying that those 2 years he came out. Those 2 years he had really good years. But he's not a consistent killer. Like he's not a consistent killer. Like he had 2 great years.
Yeah, he's not consistent.
Like he had 2 great years.
Brandon Coleman had him held down. Okay, so I'm like, I can't give him game record. I can't give him game record. I mean, he's great. And like I'm a Trey Hendrickson advocate, but Brandon Coleman.
I'm just saying, like his body of work as for like in the totality of his career, it's not like he came into the game thorough. Like that's what I'm saying.
Game
like
record.
Ryan Kerrigan, as much as I'm not a big Ryan Kerrigan fan, if you're talking about consistency year in and year out to what Candy's talking about years to get like 10 sacks, 9 sacks, like it's far. Like if you're telling me in a 2-year span, his 2 years have been better than any Ryan Kerrigan years, definitely, I agree. But if you're telling me like in totality, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
No, I wouldn't give him that either.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do all that. In totality, nah. He said, "Now I do agree."
All right. What kind of questions we got? We got some questions, and then we can close out because hey, listen, this defensive coordinator situation will be wrapped up soon.
Hopefully
wrapped up soon. So
here's a question for you, Candy from Taj. He says, Do y'all trust Dan to develop a young DC like Scott, or is that scenario not realistic with Dan already hiring David Blau on the offensive side?
Wait, ask that again. I don't think I wait. Let me
all right. Do y'all I don't know it's Scott. He said Scott who? All right. He said, do you trust Dan to develop a young DC like a Scott? Okay, like I guess the Scott's another position. Or a scenario, or is that scenario not realistic with Dan already hiring a David Blau on the offensive side? So basically saying, will he hire another young dude to develop?
Yeah.
Or will he go the vet route?
So here's the thing. I don't think it's about to develop anywhere in the league.
Yeah.
The development thing, I think is a thing of the past. Does it mean that he's not going to be there to support and give advice and talk through things? Absolutely, because this is what he's been doing. That's what he does, right? But I think the overall notion to develop, I don't think it's really that. There's still going to be an expectation to perform, right? But this goes back to like a play caller with no experience, with like Al Harris or Carl Scott or what you're asking about. I just, whoever it is has to perform. I don't think how high, I don't know, right? We talked about that earlier. How much grace is going to be given, especially with 2 new play callers, if that's the route that they go on defense.
Yeah.
But also remember, Coach Quinn did say he wanted to bring in a defensive coordinator, but he definitely said he would be open to still having a hand in it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think that's a clue. That's a clue.
He said it. He talked about takeaways. I talk about tackling, but he talks about takeaways.
He talks about takeaways. That's what I'm saying. When you be talking about tackling, he be talking about takeaways.
Talk about tackling, I be like, gotta have both. You gotta have.
Yeah, Steve was a game record. You damn right. Derek Green was a game record.
But but takeaways, okay. People not tackling, and so but
no, he mentions it like he's obsessed with takeaways. That's why I gotta learn from you. You've been telling me like use your clues, and to me, like there's like that's why Al Harris clicks all the boxes because it's
he does. If you want to keep the relationship,
like to your point, what you just said, like he wouldn't mind still having his hand in defense. Who he's worked with Al Harris before. You talking about turnovers. That's a guy who knows in all of the places he's been,
Al Harris
turnovers.
His energy.
I'm saying,
I don't know some of the others, right?
Yeah.
But just from, and I'm just familiar with Al Harris because he was on Dallas' staff.
Yeah.
But I think about Coach Blau's energy. I think about Al Harris's energy. I'm thinking about DQ's energy and what practices would be like. Just the trying to outsmart the other, because a lot of this stuff, I mean, you got to get that work in practice. You got to get all of that. You know what I mean? And so he would bring a whole different level of energy for sure. Because but it goes back to X's and O's goons.
Yeah.
X's and O's goons. So who's going to bring that out? Who's going to bring that out? I think Al Harris is a just fine candidate. I think some of these are just fine. I think they're just fine.
Yeah.
But how much are they gonna? What are they gonna have to do? It goes back to a comment that we brought up, right? When you look at a Vikings or a Brian Flores, not saying that they're coming in the door like a Brian Flores, but we're not saying that Minnesota Vikings defense has a game record currently, but they're a daggone good defense, daggone good. But that is a result of their play caller as well. So it has to be. It's all gotta work. And that's why we talked about all the available coaching jobs right now. Because I'm like, you can go to some other places because of the level of talent that's there, be able to establish some of the things you want quicker.
Yeah.
Because some of these defenses, with the 49ers, hey, when they get their pieces, their healthy pieces back, you won't have
a problem. You won't know. But Salah gone though. So Salah gonna be
that's
gone.
What I'm
so
saying.
We'll see how it works.
You got you coming in the door with game records on defense. You can do the game wrecking thing over there because your people coming back healthy. Right? You got game records in Giants. You got game records in New York.
You got young ones too. You got young ones over there. You got young.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot manufacture something that's not there unless you bring it in a highly experienced, in my opinion, schemer, play caller for that. Okay. So that's gonna be something to see where they end up going really with that role, and then what happens in terms of the roster construction on that side of the football.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
You got some game record. Oh, the Chargers, they got a game record over there.
Yeah.
The Chargers have a game record over there. We all know that the Packers have a game record. So we talked about the Chargers defensive coordinator job being available, the 49ers, the Giants, the Green Bay Packers. They got game records over there already. That somebody will have the privilege of walking into. And so this will be very, 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 very interesting because you got to have both. You got to have both. But a game record, you don't have to create a game record. They just are.
Yes, agree with that. And which they do need.
They just are. And it's going to elevate everybody else, which is fantastic. But hey, you need somebody that's just,
you need JD5 on the other side. That's what it is. You need JD5 on the other side.
And then there's, like we said, there's some teams that's got more than one. And we just named it. So this is going to be interesting. And I don't know. And it seems like there's like frustration. Why don't we know who the defensive coordinator? You want them to get this right, don't you? Don't rush this decision. No, do not rush this decision. This is very important. And not saying that offensive coordinator was not, but you had somebody. Just a little different. Because the defense was just that bad. And they haven't been good in the last 2 years, but at least, like you said, in the first season of this regime, at least you had, you saw some sparks.
Yeah.
Saw some sparks, but you didn't see any sparks.
Not here. Not this season. Not this season at all. But I think we're ready to wrap it up.
I think you did
I think we appreciate everybody for pulling up, man. You guys are dope,
On a
man.
Friday night.
What I tell you, everybody stole in.
Everybody go grocery shopping? Did everybody already be snowed in?
Man, screw them some grocery stores. Man, y'all, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Some of y'all, I do got a vent. Y'all, I got food, but y'all, like, I have food. I went to the grocery store just to pick something up, like something real small, and I thought I was gonna be able to get like something real chill, real quick. I'm good. I'm gooch with my stuff, but I'm like, some of y'all OC. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, y'all, when y'all go to the grocery store, y'all don't just like get what you need, not what just don't be just being excessive just to be excessive. Like some of y'all, some of the stuff that y'all like killed in the grocery store, terrible. Y'all are terrible, man.
Like y'all don't even eat all of that.
Exactly. Y'all don't eat all that stuff, man. Like y'all acting like y'all gonna be stuck in for like a whole freaking month. Like y'all need to stop. Like really, stop.
I need all of it to be wrapped up by Wednesday.
Yeah, like it'll probably be wrapped. Like you'll be able to drive around by Wednesday. Like you just gotta drive carefully. Like you may not be able to work, but you can get down the street to your grocery store. Like not some of y'all live like down the street from the grocery store. Y'all be okay. Like y'all doing way too much. That's all I'm gonna say. You're doing way too much.
Yeah, it's been wild.
Yeah, like acting like we about to Armageddon. Like for real. I know for real. Like, for real, straight Bahamas. I'm serious. Like it's some weird stuff.
Like, I was just about to say, get really quick, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Seriously, go ahead. Drop in the chat where you all are watching from. I always wonder, like, where are people? Like, where are you watching from?
Like from home or like on the phone?
How much snow are you all supposed to get? Like, where you are you supposed to get straight ice? Because I'm just,
what area? You talking what area they from?
Yeah, what area? Like, where are they from? Like, where are you watching from? Like right now? And how much snow are you supposed to get, if any?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because in Georgia and Florida, they're not getting no snow in Florida.
Oh, Durham. Oh, my man, Durham.
Well, how much snow are you supposed to get in Durham? Or is it
how much are you getting in Durham? That's a good question.
I'm just curious. I'm curious.
Oh, Brandywine. Oh yeah, you need a passport. You live at you need a passport, Todd.
No, apparently the weather app is the weather app normally like wrong or something. I thought the weather app be right. No,
I don't use that weather app, man. I think trash. Like that, it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be getting 5. Yeah, it's trash. I be using I go on sites on sites. We're supposed to be getting like 5 inches if you in this area.
Oh yeah.
Wardorf, oh man, Santiago, you gonna need a passport. My God, it's a passport.
Because the weather app says
you Charles County, Santiago. Oh my God, passport, Lord.
We got Cincinnati. Ooh, we over here talking about Trey Henderson. Don't tell on him.
He a Redskin Commanders fan. He good. Like 10 to 15 inches. Oh. Jesus Christ.
Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, Richmond.
6
to 12. Oh,
but it was 52 degrees.
It's bad. But it was 52 degrees today. What? The weather app be off. I know it was trash off like our field goal.
So what am I not supposed to use? I mean,
you gotta go into
the Weather Channel.
Like go to Weather Channel. Go Google weather in the DMV, and they'll give you the right stuff. That weather it'd be trash. They don't even want to tell you how many inches you're supposed to get. It started off like 18 inches, and then all of a sudden that ain't wasn't a thing. Oh, he been in DC from okay.
Okay, you just got this. Okay,
you just okay. Got you. I got folks who from the Cincinnati area. Like the folks I'm cool with, like are from the Cincinnati area. Heard it's like that over there.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like y'all coming Also, I feel for some of y'all. Like Cincinnati's cool, but the folks who live out in Brandywine and
I think we're gonna get a foot of snow in the DMV.
Y'all basically are like from. I need a passport for where y'all live at. Y'all live in the woods and stuff. It's crazy. You know what I mean? I feel for y'all, man. Brandywine, Waldorf. Y'all far from everything. Y'all still got a shark, but y'all got the shark bar out there. So I mean, that's how by y'all. You know what I'm saying? So real talk. I mean, I used to be out that side, so I know.
That was funny. Y'all
got the shark bar down there.
So. My God.
Just saying. I got the shark bar around that side of town. So yeah, y'all got that though. So
I have not been to the shark bar.
Always hear like a go-go band in shark. We're at the shark bar tonight. I'm like, yeah, y'all always at the shark bar. What's going on?
What else used to be down there? I might be showing my age if I say it used to be another club down there though.
Using clubs and bars as
Like,
landmarks. I do. I use clubs and bars. Yeah, I do all the
yes,
time out
it's
there.
a chalk bar.
I know what's out there. I know what's out there. Shoot, y'all got never mind, I ain't gonna do that.
I don't, what, I mean, I go through there, obviously,
Oh,
but
Brandywine. Y'all got
I
Brandywine
mean, I don't
is
have
like
to, but I'm just saying, like, I do. Oh, I was about to
Candi.
say Icon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Icon. Yeah,
Icon.
Icon out there. Yeah,
Icon.
yeah. Look at you.
That
It's
was when I was
terrible.
first going out.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. Look, man, you or like U Street, or like I don't be on real
You
talk.
are
I don't do the U Street
hilarious.
stuff. I don't do the U Street stuff because U Street that's too much work. I like the
You
park.
still go up U Street?
No, I don't be on U Street no more.
Oh,
I never really liked. I mean, I did every once in a while. I didn't even like U Street when I was
I
younger.
don't talk bad about U Street. I used to be on U Street,
Yeah,
but
I ain't even like it like that when I was younger. I was like, I
you
had to
still
find
hang out
parking.
Adams Morgan? Is that still a thing?
No, who goes to Adams Morgan? That's still a thing. I hope not.
That's what I'm asking. Is that still a thing?
Nah, I hope not. Adams Morgan's. I hope not. It's a nice sports bar. Where's a nice sports bar?
What? The Icon? Shark Bar?
Not soccer bar. That's not a. Well, I mean, I never see. Is it a sports bar? It's always like not. Hey, chill out. Not the Hanger Club. I'm not going to joke, but I ain't going to fry you on that one. I'm not going to post that one.
We over here having a ball. Like,
I'm not going to even post that one.
It is a Friday
Hey,
night.
Paul, I'm not going to even post the Hanger Club.
It is a Friday night, and here we are doing a show on the Commanders because that's what we do. We have to do and talking about clubs. Like,
what's happening? What's happening?
What is out there?
My man said, like, what's happening? What are you mentioning stuff like that for? Yeah, you ain't slick. I ain't mentioning that, Paul. You ain't slick. You ain't slick.
Gotta be something.
Yeah, Adams Morgan is for the young college kids from Utah.
A lot of stuff. I had to be downtown today, and I feel like every time I ride downtown, I'm like,
so everything changes. It's not the same.
oh my gosh.
But no, most of the stuff is like most of the people hang out at is like more of like the Connecticut side or something like that or whatever. So it's not like, but that's more of like, you know, places like for like grown stuff. So I don't even do city stuff because I hate parking. So it's a whole different beast. I don't do city stuff no more.
New Hampshire Avenue. I parked in a good spot.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, folks, you got to find it. You know, it's a hustle. It's the hassle. You got to find it. I'm all about finding a good old garage, so I don't have to like be all pressed and whatever. So,
and the stadium will be right back there.
Yeah.
Going on. I don't even where these people would go, but it's
not the ass guy. Hey, no, we gotta end this. We gotta end this. We gotta end this.
Hey, I'm like the ass.
I ain't messing with y'all, man. We out, man. Hey, we out, man.
I'm talking about where I do remember, but we'll do that a whole nother show. You guys, thank you for hanging out with us on a Friday night. Make sure you all stay safe and warm. And all that good stuff.
Eat all your food too, man.
Look, I'm sure the defensive coordinator will be established at some point here in the near future. And we'll be discussing that as well.
I do got one comment for you.
Yeah,
I know about it.
I don't know about that.
I know piano keys. I know that they actually sell like suya African food out there too.
It's like a go-go piano keys. I've not been there.
It's like a go-go bands perform over there too. Like what band? Black Alley performs over there.
Piano keys. My sisters and my friends, they go to my best friends, my sisters, they go to piano keys.
Yeah, I mean I've been there like once. And I was like never, but then I was like,
where is it? It's over there by the, but
it's over there.
It's over there.
It's on that side. It's like Brandywine and all, like it's up that side. By
the movie theater?
I don't know where, I forgot where it was. I think it's Brandywine. I believe it's Brandywine. Because I felt like, man, that was a whole different experience. I don't know. That place it's the way that place it's kind of small too. Yeah, it's Brandywine. I'm right. It's Brandywine. Okay. So I will say this. I do want to add this before we end off.
People still go to Cheddar's. Remember, I do.
Well, Cheddar's is cheap as I don't know what. I've done a Cheddar. I haven't been to Cheddar's in a minute, but that's Cheddar's is cheap as I don't know what. That's why somebody schooled me to Cheddar's. I thought, oh, this joint cheap. I like this spot. All right. So I will say this to some of y'all, man. Some of y'all folks who like married or whatnot. And whatever, be careful during this time right now, man. And you locked in. Y'all about to have other kids. Y'all about to have kids. I already know how some of y'all are. Like when it's snowmageddon and y'all trapped, Y'all, some of y'all ain't trying to have kids. Y'all about to have some kids. So I can already tell you what time it is.
So when we gonna expect baby shower?
Yes, baby showers. Like you got do it now.
On this stream ends up having this weekend.
9 months from now.
I invite.
Yeah, look, 9 months from now. It is January 23rd. 9 months from now.
By week one,
we gotta
get baby shower invite.
Baby showers and stuff. Hey, yo. Look, no sir hands.
We fully expect Dad told you from the couch invites.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So y'all be safe out here, man. Y'all be. My man Patan said no accidents here, sir. Snip.
Oh, you never know. If you watching the stream and you still watching, or you watch it after the stream is over, or you watch it on TV, we expect baby shower invites. Okay,
Facts.
Week one themed.
Week one
baby shower invite.
I swear, when I hear some of y'all like week one and like y'all worried about your newborn, I'll be like, yeah.
Yep, you're one of the ones.
Yeah, you them ones. You them ones, buddy. You're them ones. You're the ones.
These week one arrivals.
Yeah, week one arrivals. Exactly. They be like, yeah. Call your son Jaden. Call your son Jaden.
Oh, you got no. They got name after you, Wole.
Oh man. Be like, oh man,
funny.
When they watch, be like
JD5.
JD5, that's his nickname. Oh man.
Well, whoever they draft is the game record.
Yeah, whoever the game record, exactly. It's gonna be Caleb. It's gonna be called Caleb.
Caleb. Oh God, that would mean a lot. Honestly, if you did name the child Caleb. Oh, that is so funny. Everybody's gonna name the child after the game. This is hilarious.
I'm telling you, that's who the child.
Wow.
Yep, I'm serious.
It was a bunch of kids a few years ago. It was a snowstorm a couple years ago.
Man, what? I'm telling you, man. People get cabin fever. Y'all tripping. I'm telling y'all.
After 12 hours. 12 hours in the house. Okay, nobody function.
Yeah, nobody function. I'm telling you. Shoot, when COVID hit, a rag of folks is having babies. A rag of folks is having babies. A
lot of 5 and 6-year-olds.
There's some COVID babies out here that they weren't going to be conceived.
This is hilarious. This whole conversation.
Name my grandson Caleb. I'm telling you, name my grandson Caleb.
I'm telling you, like it's name him after the game record or Jaden. That's it.
Look, the Blizzard 1996. What? I'm sure it was. I was in like what grade was I in? I was like in the freaking. Then was I a freshman at Rose? I think I may have been a freshman at Rose.
Did you went to Roosevelt?
You went to Rose.
Did I know that? Eleanor Roosevelt?
Yeah. I'm a Greenbow kid. Yeah, I'm Eleanor Roosevelt.
I don't think I knew you went to Roosevelt.
Yeah, I went to Rose, man. I know.
Georgia County kids on here.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, let's go. All right, let's close it out. I'm supposed to go to the gym.
You were supposed to go to the gym.
Yeah, I got to eat first. It's all good, y'all.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. See y'all.
Bye.